All right, we are live. Welcome, 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 everybody, to the Mary Negron School of Nails classroom. We have 6 students in here today, just like we normally do. Everybody's here today, and everybody is awake. I'm so happy. So happy. Okay, let me put us on Do Not Disturb. Okay. All right. So catch us on YouTube if you want to see everything that my students see today. All right. This class, for those of you that I don't know, everybody knows that I give you the replay after class to go back and rewatch if you want to. Okay. So we're going to be talking about manicuring, and I'm going to be focusing when we do our demonstration on the actual state board manicure. Okay, what you have to do at state board. Okay, now just remember that when you become a nail tech and you are in your own salons, you can tweak and do whatever you want. But at state board, they want you to do it a certain way. So I would be doing you a disservice by teaching you any other way. At the end of the day, it is the basic way to do a manicure. And then anything else you add to it is just, an addition. Okay, so let's get right to it. All right. Here's our slides. Now, so what we're going to talk about today is, first we're going to explain why you need to learn manicuring. All right, because manicuring is the basis for everything. Okay, if you can't do a decent manicure on your client, that's probably the reason why you're having lifting problems or retention. Your client's nails are popping off all in one piece and stuff like that. Okay, we're going to talk about some of these services that are included in your scope of practice and the ones that are not. Y'all remember what scope of practice means? Okay, we won't need to go back over that at all. All right, so scope of practice is what you are legally allowed to do. All right, we're going to talk about the equipment you need for manicure. I got them pedicure chairs on my brain. They're right behind me, y'all. Y'all see these the new ones, girl. These the new ones. We got new tables. Yeah. The only thing I'm waiting on now, the chairs, because they also sent me chairs. The nice chairs, the rolling ones. I don't even have a chair in it. Also for the client and the nail tech, and also the pedicure chairs, but they were on back order. They'll be here next week. Hopefully they will be small enough to fit through the door, and I won't have to pay somebody to bring them in like last week. But anyway, so we're also going to talk about multi-use, single-use implements, okay, stuff that you should be throwing away, not reusing on clients. There's a lot of misconceptions about that in this industry. There's a lot of shady things going on in these nail salons, y'all. We're also going to talk about materials that you need to have to perform manicures, as well as professional products that you need to have. And then I'm going to demonstrate a basic manicure and outline those steps for you that you need to. And so you guys will want to take notes on these steps. And when I present it to you, you will also have the opportunity to kind of take a picture of how your table should be set up. Okay, like I said, when I send you to state board, I send you guys with everything you need, nothing more, nothing less. I show you the table setup. If you go rogue and do it differently, don't call me and tell me, Ms. Mary, I don't know why I failed mine. Well, you was in here doing it all your own way the whole time you were here, so what do you expect? I don't know, you probably did it your own way at state board, and they didn't like that. So this is going to be a very important chapter for you for state board, because you do have to do a manicure on a mannequin hand. Okay, we're also going to talk about some men's manicuring, because men get manicures too, hopefully. Okay, some of them do a little bit more, a little bit less, but men's manicures are super easy. You make a whole lot of money doing a men's manicure, and you ain't got to do nothing to them. Some of these men now, these beta males, a lot of them, some of them getting polish and all that stuff, whatever. We're also going to talk about massage techniques. Now, these massage techniques are going to be very important, because you will also need to know the names of these techniques, and they will be mentioned on your state board. Okay, these massage techniques, the names of them are not in English. Okay, they're like French. They're like French. No, that's easy, because that's medical terms, and medical terms generally kind of correlate with the English language. This French stuff, petrissage and effleurage, I think it's French. It might be something else, but Yeah, you just, I'm gonna help you remember it. Trust me. I'm always gonna try to make it easy for you. We're gonna talk about the process or the differences between spa manicures and basic manicures. Okay. And we're going to talk about the benefits of infection control practices, especially when it comes to paraffin wax. Okay, we have paraffin wax over here. Full disclosure, I hate paraffin wax. It's a mess. We've got wax all over this carpet because y'all just love to pour it right on the floor. Just pour it on the floor. And I'm just like, yeah, whatever. The carpet's going to be pulled up one day. All right, so also clients who have special sensitivities to getting manicures, okay? Because not everybody can be one of our clients, okay, for medical reasons, all right? Y'all ready? Let's get into it. All right. So why do you need to learn manicuring? Why is it important? We kind of touched on this a little bit last week. First of all, it's your job as a nail tech to expertly groom and beautify your client's nails. And nowadays, people, especially with the invention of social media and things of that nature, our appearance is very important to us. And I went to a Harley event last night. We have bike night every Friday night over at the Harley Davidson dealership. And everybody now knows that I do nails because I do all the girls' nails at the Harley dealership, right? And so everybody's coming up to, I hear you do nails. And the first thing I did was like, because, yeah. The cook never eats. That's what they say. So, your appearance, again, people are looking at your nails. You guys, look at, y'all know who Marc Jacob is? Oh, honey. First of all, let me just say, those nails are hideous. But it's not the nail tech's fault. He likes them like that. He requests for them to be thick like that and bulky like that. But, he's a whole man and a designer in his head. He's probably coming out with some new line of clothing that, I don't know, is thick and bulky. I don't know. It's just, how artists are. But at the end of the day, the nail tech doesn't really put out work like that. He requests it. Like, he comes in and on paper and designs how he wants his nails done. So shout out to the nail tech that does his nails, because, baby, I don't know if I could do it. I'd be like, come on, please, let me thin them out just a little bit. They're so bulky. But, it's Marc Jacobs. He can do no wrong in my eyes. So with that being said, it also, as far as manicuring, not everybody is going to be getting acrylics. Not all of your clients are going to want extendos, okay? So if I'm gonna be honest with you now, after being a nail tech for 30 plus years, if you gave me manicures and pedicures to do all day, I would be a happy camper. It takes me 20, 30 minutes to bust out a gel manicure, $60. Easy. $35, $40, $50. How much is a gel manicure nowadays? I ain't been to the nail salon in a long time. Just a regular gel manicure, because they are going to charge you extra for the gel, right? So I would assume like about $50 for. Listen, if you can do a gel manicure in 30, 40 minutes, that's $1 per minute, y'all. That's lawyer wages. Like, lawyers make $60 an hour, well, some of them make more than that, but typically, I don't know too many people that make $1 a minute. Right. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, that's easy money, okay? Not to mention, everything that we do starts with a manicure. We learned last week that acrylic doesn't like cuticle, right? That's dead skin on the nail. Acrylic does not stick to skin, dead or alive, right? So you got to get it off of there. And the best way to do that is by performing either a dry manicure, which just means you're not soaking in the bowl, which, obviously the bowl is more for an experience, if you ask me. And for those clients that have really tough cuticles that need to be soaked a little bit, most people don't generally need their hands soaked, but again, it is more of an experience. So, if you don't do a decent manicure on a client, you're probably going to have issues with lifting and retention. And I mean, y'all probably can't see my nails really close up right now, but these are like, I'm embarrassed. They've been on for over a month, but there's not a lifting spot in sight. they look like they're my real nails.
Exactly. I was gonna ask you that.
Well, they're 100% gel, okay, and they are made with that gel that looks like the color looks like natural nail. It's kind of an off-white yellow color that looks like nail. But these are I call these my naturalista sets. Whenever someone asks for they want their nails to look super natural. Now, don't get it twisted. My nails are grown out halfway up this nail, okay? But that's because I've had them on a month, okay? But they look super, super real, and they have absolutely no lifting, no wear. And that is because I spend a lot of time on my prep. So this chapter, the manicuring chapter, it's, to me, you learn, anybody can do a manicure, but the prep is so important when it comes to your nails. And a manicure is basically going to be your prep, okay? Again, you don't always have to add water there. Now, what are some trends that are current right now when it comes to just natural nails? I mean, I just showed you one.
I don't know, that's crazy because
Builder gel on your natural nails, like an overlay, right?
oh yeah,
What was it?
white stuff right here.
What was that?
They actually created a natural nail.
Yeah, like they put a
Yeah, they're doing a little new love, adding, making it put a little clear pinkish color gel on there to make it look more, more pretty, but not so fake looking, right? That natural look. Someone else said builder gel. So yeah, builder gel is a big thing, and it's more like an overlay on the natural nail, right? And I love gel. Gel is my favorite medium right now. Okay, so manicuring is something that as a nail tech you definitely need to know how to do. Now, some clients, they can't do their own nails. A lot of people, I mean, they try, right? Or you probably were one of those people at one point. That's why you're here, because you tried. You're like, I want to do my own nails, right? But a lot of people, this is not that. They go out there, especially during COVID, they went out there and bought all that stuff, and then they realized real quick that it ain't that easy. It's not that easy, right? And you guys probably say it's not that easy. It gets easier as you go along. But and then some people, I mean, I love to get my nails done, not my nails, like a manicure. I don't really let nobody do nails on me just because I just am picky and I do my own nails and I can do it myself. But a pedicure, baby, or a manicure, a gel manicure, I love to, feel pampered. Okay, so again, a manicure is more of an experience. You can make it, we're just gonna do a basic one, but you can make it luxury very easily by just adding a few things. So you can take a $30 or $40 manicure and turn it into a $100 manicure very easily. People pay for ambiance as well. Any of y'all been to like Paris Nails? And like they got a whole baby grand piano in there and a little boy playing it. He'd be like, floop. And they'll also give you a fungus and an infection at the same time and charge you extra for it. They give you an unlicensed nail tech and a manager that ain't been working but 5 minutes, okay? So, I mean, and I'm not saying that to be shady. One thing about it, I don't talk bad about people unless it's to their face, okay? I'm going to tell you the truth. And these places around here, they're beautiful. Like some of these nail salons, I mean, I think Paris Nails got like angels painted on the ceiling and clouds. It looked like you in a cathedral. They give you champagne. Sometimes they don't give you enough. They got mad at me. I said, can I get another one? They was like, ma'am, it's free. It's like, no, don't. Don't. And again, these are things that are on public information. You can go on the State Board website and find out all the things they get fined for quite regularly. Okay. You can literally, any of your, there should be a plug. There's a plug every few, you can unplug the one that's in there right now because it's just to the lamps. But we're not using the lamp, so you can unplug the one that's in there right now.
They giving you the champagne and all that to
Distract you
from all the other stuff you don't get.
Give it to Emily and let her put it on her side.
What, the cord?
Yeah, hand it to Emily. She got one on her side.
Okay, here you go.
You see on the side of you, on the wall. Look on the wall, y'all. The plugs are on the wall. You see the strip?
It's like right
It's a strip. Y'all don't see the plug hole right there? There's one every foot.
Oh, wait.
See right behind you, Emily? You see that black spot?
I think it's one right
You see that black spot right there? Yeah. I'm like, why y'all don't see this? I'm like, it's one every foot.
If it's in your way, Emily, it's one right here. I didn't know this was.
Yeah, give it back to her. It's one right there. I'm like, wait a minute. I know it's one right there because I moved these tables and I try. Oh, now hold on a minute now.
What?
You done unplugged me.
See what I'm saying? Okay.
Give it to Emily then. Let her plug it in. Emily, just go on and keep it up. There you go.
Thank you.
I need my plug. Make sure we gonna fix these plugs up and stuff. I just haven't. We'll have more running. I just I had to move all this stuff around, y'all. I haven't even plugged these tables up properly. All right, so relaxation and pampering. That's what we do, and that as far if you want to make your manicures more expensive, okay, and make it worth your time. Y'all, I'm gonna tell you from years of doing this, I remember when I first started, I wanted to do all that nail art and all that stuff, but by the time you spend 3-4 hours working on a client and then you realize you only made $100, see, now you down to McDonald's wages now. It works smarter, not harder, okay? Anybody can glue a bunch of stones and put a bunch of nail art on a nail. At the end of the day, most of your clients are not going to ask for that. You may have, some of y'all are doing nails already, right? How many clients do you do that ask for that?
I only have one, and she gets everything, anime, 3D, all that.
Right, and
A
a few, right?
Those little 3D
Because people that actually have jobs that pay good money can't have all that stuff on their nails. Right. A lot of your nurses and your the people who work in business type environments, they can't have all that stuff. They're like they're the ones that'll say, "Oh, that's cute," but yeah, girl, I can't do that. So and those are the ones that are going to tip you $20 on their $40 service. Okay. I got my clients routinely tip me $20-$30 on top of what I charge, just because if you can do nails that look real or nails that are just clean, you can't even you don't need all that extra stuff on there. Not that it's a bad thing. I'm just saying that don't be discouraged when you first start. Your pedicures and these shorties and these gel manicures are what's going to pay your bills when you're not quite filling up your books in the beginning. Okay. So, and someone just said here, I feel insecure about being good at nails because I'm not good at the extra 3D. You don't have to be. There are, I have students that they literally do nothing but natural nails all day long, booked and busy. Yeah, you choose what you want to do. The thing is, whatever you want to do, just make sure you're not wearing it on your nails. I mean, make sure you're wearing it on your nails because other clients are going to see it. So if you got all this nail art on your nails, you're like, no, I don't do that on other people. They're like, well, that's the reason why I came to you. I saw your little nails when I was at the mall, whatever. So don't be discouraged about not knowing how to do nail art. It helps, but it's not it's not a requirement to be a nail tech. At the end of the day, they make stickers and decals, and there's I like to call my artistic style abstract. If you need a straight line, baby, don't call me. It's supposed to be like that, okay? So again, it's not wrong unless you tell them it's wrong. I never admit to mistakes. All right, so things that are included in your state board scope of practice, okay? We know what we are not allowed to do, right? We are prohibited from cutting the skin, the live tissue on our clients' nails, okay? AKA Russian manicures, okay? We are not allowed to do that. Again, if you are doing it, you are doing it at your own risk and at the risk of your license, okay? Don't do it. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Again, these are services that we are legally allowed to do within your specific state. And I can tell you this, every state prohibits the cutting of the proximal nail fold, okay? And the keratinized proximal nail fold. That's all living tissue, okay? And you are liable, okay? We're not gonna go too deep in that. It gets everybody all upset. Now, let's talk about the equipment that you need to perform nail services. So equipment is gonna be very different from implements, materials and products, okay? They're all different. So when we talk about equipment, we're talking about things such as your manicuring table. You're going to want to have some sort of manicuring table. Now, these tables right here, very nice, but they're $675 a piece just for the table. All right? Now, these tables right here cost for the tabletop $15. The legs, $4 a piece. And if you want to be fancy and get one of these storage desks, they're $90 a piece. IKEA. Okay? Go to IKEA and and they got them in all kinds of colors. This is the same table that I only have these because they gave them to me for free for buying those. And so when I go back there next year, I'm going to buy 3 and I'm going to say, you going to give me 3 more for free? Because I'm not paying $675 per table. Look, there's no storage. There's a drawer. A drawer. Okay. That's nice. And they heavy as hell. They heavy. Those tables will not move again. Okay?
She said again.
They wouldn't. No, they can't do that. That's too heavy. Now this one, all day long. Flipping the tables. All right. So, but a table it can be something that's a portable table. Okay, I have a portable table back there. Y'all can't see it because I'm trying to get the school organized, y'all. This was, you should have seen it. It was a mess trying to get the stuff together. But I've got a portable table that I got from the nail supply in Atlanta that I can take with me anywhere. When I did Mary J. Blige's nails a couple of months ago, that was the table that I took to her hotel room, and it's a $100 table that folds up. Okay. So, it's whatever works best for you. Buy what you can afford. Spend your money on glitter, okay? Don't spend it on all these bougie nail supplies, okay? You can never go wrong with glitter, all right? But make sure when you are buying your tables that your table is something that is impenetrable, meaning it's not like a wooden table that can soak up any germs or any polish or gel or anything. Make sure it's something that can be easily cleaned with acetone or alcohol. If you get this stuff on your table, you can put that's the mailman. Hello, Mr. Mailman. Thank you, you good. Stick it in there. He's so sweet. Listen, you get him to talking, he will not leave. So, but he's super sweet. Make sure, because this table, it's white on the top, and you would think that the acetone would melt the color off of it, but it's some kind of acrylic paint on it. So whatever you get, make sure that it's something that can be easily cleaned and disinfected. Okay. If you want to DIY your table, I see a lot of people like doing the DIY table stuff. Make sure you seal it with something that can be acetone resistant.
The little clear plastic, people put it up there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's acetone resistant. Yeah, like this. If now this right here, I just put it on there because I was tired of seeing these tables looking the way they look, and I was like, this will mask it a little bit. I gotta get some more for the rest of the tables, but because these tables still got life in them, y'all just beat them up. Trust me, I will not be allowing these tables and these chairs to get beat up like these. Okay. If I hear any file, because this is what happens, y'all get y'all's nails and start filing on the table. I'm like, you scratching the table. What are you doing? Do that on them $600 free. I don't care if they was free. We going to add that to your invoice. Somebody buying a new table. All right. So be able to clean and disinfect it. Okay. The next thing you're going to want to have is decent lighting. Okay. Decent lighting. These right here, and I've got them slid in the crack right here because I wanted y'all to be able to see me. I have them where we can just pop them back up and put them on the table. But these also came from IKEA, and they were $15. When it comes to lighting, like these, again, those were free. Those moon lamps, they gave them to me for free. I hate those lamps. Why? Because when you're filing, your elbow's hitting it. And, they kind of only give you light in just that area. And sometimes I want it to be angled this way. And I like these lamps because you can move it really, really close. You can pick it up higher. The most important thing is that when you do buy a lamp, make sure that it has daylight lighting. For instance, if I spin this right here, turn it all the way. You see how that light turned yellow?
Yeah.
You don't want that, because when you take pictures of your work, not only just for pictures on your work, when you are working, you want to be able to see the true color. So when we say daylight light, this, turn it the other way, that bright white gives you the daylight the sun gives off, right? It's going to give you that true color of what you're working with. So with that being said, I used to, back when I was a little po broke nail tech, I had me a little, before they came out with LED bulbs, you had those ones that would get hot. Because China, you remember when you went to the nail salon and they'd be like, put your hand under the bulb so that it would heat it up and make it cure faster. Well, now I can always tell people's age, because my clients, because they want to put their hand under that bulb. And I'm like, that bulb don't get hot, right? The new LED bulbs, you can touch them. They don't get hot. Okay? So make sure that you're getting that bright white. Look for daylight bulbs. Okay? Don't do the soft white. You hear soft white and you get this yellow. Okay? So when you take your pictures, your clients are going to say, ooh, I really like that color that you had. And then you pick the color because you did the nails yesterday. And then they're like, oh, it doesn't look like the picture. Oh, that's because you had a soft white bulb and not a LED bright white. Okay? Daylight bulb. All right? So keep that in mind when you're doing your lighting. Again, I prefer something that can connect to the table, but if it can't connect to the table with some type of clamp, make sure that it's something that can move around. I personally, those are a trend right now. Everybody's got them, but they're actually annoying, to be honest. I don't like them. All right, so the next thing you're going to want to have are chairs for your client and for you, okay? Preferably, the most comfortable chair should be for you. You're the one sitting in it all day, okay? Make sure that you choose a chair that is very comfortable ergonomically for you, as well as the client if you can afford it, okay? But in the cases here in the school, they're gonna sit right there on them Sam's chairs where they can't roll all over the place and lean back and have their elbows on the chair right here instead of in, because they'll be like this.
You all the way over the table.
I have one of my very good friends. She's like one of my best friends. When she gets her nails done, she's like this, watching the TV, and I'm like, girl, I need your arm extended, okay? I need to be able to reach you, okay? So, and then when they have elbow pads here on the side, then they want to keep their hands all over here, and they're not really giving you what you need to do the job, okay? Now, I'm not saying put your client on a brick, sit them on a brick, but I mean, it is what it is. They're only going to be there for an hour or so, 2 hours at the max, generally, and you got to sit in it for 12 or more, depending on the type of nail tech you are, okay? So keep that in mind. Also, the finger bowls. Now, these bowls are generic, regular schmegula bowls, right? They cost $1. You do not have to do manicures in these type of bowls. It can be any bowl. Like, if you want to up the ticket of your manicures, go get you a fancy bowl from Home Goods, something real pretty, something that can fit 2 hands in it rather than just one at a time, because you technically don't need to have 2 of these. You're only working at one hand with 1 hand at a time. Rotate it out, okay? But what I used to do is I went and I got these pretty, because my design of my salon when I first opened my first school salon, it was all hot pink, black, and gold with cheetah print everywhere, leopard print, super gaudy, bling everywhere. It was called the House of Bling. That was my name of my salon, House of Bling. And then when I got more matured, got a little older, I changed it up. Everything was white. Everything was white and gray, and the marble. That's still my look, because I prefer things to look more like a doctor's office type of vibe. I want it to be clean, where you can see the dirt and you can see, you know what I mean? So I went and got these chairs from what is that? The place over there by Bonefish. What's that? Is it Home Goods?
I think so.
Okay, Home Goods. I went over there and got me this really fancy white chair, and it had white fur in the seat. And oh, that chair was so nice. And then this one girl with a big old butt, she sat her butt in my chair, and she had on some cheap City Trends blue jeans and turned my whole chair blue. I was like, damn, was she hot, sweating, or what? Like, it was just, the whole chair was blue. It had a butt print of a blue. I said, oh, got to make sure you get some chairs that have a quality, because that wasn't leather. I mean, if it was leather, I probably could have cleaned it with, maybe put some acetone on it. I don't know, but just try to get, stuff. These are working chairs. These aren't your home chairs that you've got in your sitting room where you only bring people in when you got guests and stuff. These are chairs people are going to be sitting in for a while. So make sure that they're comfortable and also make sense. Okay. Yeah, I wanted it to be nice, but I had to throw that chair away. It looked crazy. So, and the bowls as well. I went and got me some really cute bowls, and then I went over to Michael's or Hobby Lobby, one of them places. Those little fake diamonds that people put on the tables when they do events and stuff. I got some of those so that they could be in the bowl, and they could play with them, little diamonds. It was just an experience. Okay, so, but make sure your finger bowls are also able to be disinfected and sanitized as well. So you don't want to use like a Tupperware dish, something that absorbs, I think Tupperware tends to, you ever put like spaghetti in a Tupperware dish and then it stains it or whatever? I just feel like that's the type of plastic I wouldn't want to have. Just something hard plastic, glass, or some type of metal, okay? All right, another thing you're going to want to have. Now, this is a disinfecting container. This is a personal sized one, okay? One that's about this big, okay? When you open it up, it lifts out of the barbicide. When you lay the lid down, it submerges the implements in the barbicide. Now, here's the thing that you guys probably don't know or never thought of, okay? Because we're going to be doing infection control next week, okay? Infection control is one of my favorite things to teach. I know I say that about everything, but it actually really is. And once you learn infection control, you will never clean the same way again when you learn it the proper way. Because none of us, and that's ain't to say that all of y'all, nasty or nothing, but none of us clean properly. And when I say that, we're not using our cleaning agents properly. None of y'all have read the back of the bleach container. You just pour it in there. None of y'all ever read the Lysol can and followed the instructions. Hell, you ain't looked at the disinfectant wipes and none of that. There's certain stuff that you're supposed to do. And it's the reason why you be coming in here sniffling and snuffling, because, if you were using your Lysol properly, you would kill them germs for real. But we just spray it on there and wipe it off right away, don't we? You ain't supposed to do that. You're supposed to spray enough Lysol that it stays wet for 10 minutes. Leave it, and then go back and wipe it. So it kills the germs. Got to have time to kill it. Don't just instantly zap the germs away. But this is stuff that, again, most people don't know, even though it's written on the back of the can. I'm guilty of it. I didn't know none of this stuff till I had to teach it. Okay? So, when we'll get into all of that. But what's very important is for you to know that when you go to these nail salons, and I'm just using an example of something that I've experienced. I don't know if y'all have looked at any of my social media, and some of y'all have maybe, and you've seen my salon reviews that I do. They nasty, all of them nasty. They're all nasty. But one of the things that I've pointed out in one of my videos is, and we've all seen it, you go to the sink to wash your hands because they tell you, go wash your hand, right? You go to wash your hands, and there's a little bowl of blue water with a bunch of brushes, like these nylon brushes right here in there, right? They're just a bunch of them put in there. And I guess you're supposed to like grab one out and scrub your fingers with it. Well, here's the thing. First of all, you're not supposed to touch barbicide. You are not supposed to touch it with your bare hands. You should have gloves on. It is a corrosive, and it is a very, very strong medical grade disinfectant, okay? But they don't care. First of all, it's probably not even mixed properly. Hell, it's probably just water with a little blue food coloring in it, for all I know. But barbicide has to be mixed to the exact ounce, or it is rendered useless. So, with that being said, if everybody in Augusta is going over there and they're picking it out and they're scrubbing their hands with it and then they rinse their hands off and then they put the wet brush back in there, what are you now doing to it? You're contaminating it for one, but you're also diluting it. So once it's diluted, it no longer is doing, so it's just basically a petri dish of poo and pee and whatever's under these people's fingers. And you're washing your hands with it. So again, once you learn this stuff, once you hear the truth, you can never unhear it. Once you see the truth, you can never unsee it. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but everybody in here is going to change the way they clean after we learn this chapter next week. And you will never look at another nail salon the same. Shayla gets told off on a daily basis by clients because she does things the proper way. And they're like, what are you doing? And she's like, well, I'm doing what I'm legally allowed to do. I'm in here mixing barbicide. Y'all over here just putting water and splashing it like you making Kool-Aid or something. Oh, it tastes all right. We'll add a little more sugar to it. You can't do that. You have to mix it properly. Otherwise, you're just wasting money. This barbicide's not cheap, right? And you same thing with your cleaning supplies at home. When you're mixing your Mr. Clean, your Fabuloso and all of that, your bleach, you're actually supposed to measure the bleach, y'all. Y'all know that? Gloop, 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 gloop. Gloop, 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 gloop. Until it fills up and starts bloop, bloop, bloop. And then you're like, oh, it's enough. No. Yeah, some of y'all over here putting bleach in your bath water, which actually isn't too bad of a thing. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. Just a little capful ain't never killed nobody. But with that being said, you've got these things, ratios are very important. So not only that, what good is an implement that is being disinfected if you're only disinfecting just the tip of it and not the whole thing? So what I mean by that is when you are disinfecting, you must fully submerge, aka baptize. Y'all know what it means to be baptized, right? Under the water all the way and then back up. So when I was a kid, when I got baptized, I was raised in the Mormon religion. If your hair came up to the top, they had to put you back down because them sins rose up to that top and they still there. You got to rinse them off. Okay? So we had to go back down. The little dress you had on, if the little piece of dress came all up a little bit, you had to go back down. So it's the same thing when we're talking about implements and disinfecting things properly. Okay, so again, I'm not going to get into too much detail in that, but you will need some type of disinfecting container. It don't have to be this. As a matter of fact, what we have here is a tote container that's big enough that we can fill it up because there's a lot of y'all. But all the implements that we clean and disinfect have to be able to be submerged. So it needs to be big, right? With barbicide so that it can go under. All right, so it can be anything as long as it's something that can be closed and something that is big enough for your implements to be cleaned with, okay? So don't go, like I said, don't go out here spending a whole lot of money. Spend your money on what? Period. Y'all got me. All right, client's arm cushion. These arm cushions came with the table. Those are real nice, right? But at the end of the day, it can be just a rolled up towel. Something to put their elbows on. That's another thing. I went to a nail salon, did a review. Table was just as bare. I had surgery. I broke my elbow back in September of last year. And I had I've got a pin in this, a metal rod in this arm. And I'm over here like this, and I'm like, dang, they ain't got nothing to rest your elbow on? And you ain't even got to have an elbow surgery. You just resting your elbow on a hard table for 2 hours or your arms is not comfortable. So get your clients some type of rest for their arm, okay? And I personally, what I went and did is I went again to Home Goods. I love that place. I love IKEA, okay? And I got one of those round pillows that you would put on a bit, just the long round pillows, and that's where they rest their arms. And I cover that with a towel every time, a clean towel or a puppy pad. I love those puppy pads from Sam's. They're cheap. You can just roll them up, throw them away after every client, wipe your table down, right? Put that over it so it stays clean. Do your service, okay? My clients fall asleep on it sometimes. They play because it's that big. It sits up. I need their hands high. Plus, the higher their hands are, the less they're doing this trying to look, because that's what they're doing. When they're flexing, when clients and their hands are stiff, it's because they're trying to watch you. And if their hands are like this, they can't see nothing.
You have a picture of it?
What, the pillow? I mean, I can. I have it at my home studio, but yeah, I can. It's just big. It's probably about this big around at the ends, circle, long.
Oh, it looks like a log.
It's like a log. Yep. Yeah, those those long cylinder side, about just long and round, fluffy, thick. Okay, thick like me, girl. Yes, thick like me. Okay, but that's going to give them more comfort and also allow you to be able to do your job a little bit better. The worst thing in the world is when the client put their hand on the table like this and they're like. Right. Right. And then some of them, they want to lay in your lap, So that's some other things that you're going to need. Okay. Now here's another thing that is very important. And this is a state board rule, y'all. What do y'all notice about every trash can in this building? It's got a cap. It's got a top on it. It's got a flip top on it or something. And it also has like a foot pedal right there so that it'll flip up. Okay, so the state board requires you to have a top on your trash cans. They cannot be free and open. Okay, and there's a reason for that. Anybody want to give me an idea what you think that is? The odor. Yes, definitely. When you are doing acrylic nails, that's one reason. Your acrylic has a very strong odor. You put that paper towel in there after the client, and then you go to flip that top up, and whew, all you smell is a monomer. Now, when I was going to school in South Carolina, when I was in nail school, they required us to actually put each one in a Ziploc bag and throw it away, because you still didn't want it just every time you open the trash can, the smell coming out. When you got a room full of 20 nail techs doing all acrylic all at the same time, it can get a little strong. Me personally, some people don't like that smell. For me, it smells like money, but that's just me. I love the smell of monomer. Okay. Now, it also needs to have a liner in it. One of my students who she's graduating today, she went to go work at a little local nail salon. Because she wanted to get some experience just to kind of see what it was like to work in one of these places, although I've told her what it's like and she didn't believe me. She went and did it on her own. Sometimes y'all just got to touch the hot, stove to know it's hot. But bless her heart, Tashelle. She went over there to this place on Washington Road. I ain't going to say the name, TL Nails. And she went over there to work.
I'm about to Google them now.
Yeah. He's
Never
supposed to
heard
have like 3 or 4 salons around here, or getting a second one or something. I think it's a second one. But anyhow, she said she came in. She felt, I know y'all be working in places. I know y'all working. You ain't got to lie to me. I ain't going to judge you. You got to make your payments some kind of way. So she said, Miss Mary, I just got to tell you. She said, I went to work and I want to get a little experience. She said, Miss Mary, that place is so nasty. She said, first red flag. I said, how long did you stay? She said 4 days, but I wanted to leave the first day. I said, well, why didn't you? She said, I don't know. I just felt embarrassed telling the guy I wanted to leave. Like, you could tell that man and then tell the truth. She didn't tell him the truth. She ain't telling the truth why she wanted to leave. But she said, this was the story she told me. She said, Ms. Mary, I went to open the trash can. First of all, there was no liner in the trash can at all, which is, that's one thing. But she said what was in the trash can was all this cotton balls from the acid, where they take the acetone, stuck, because it was a plastic bin. So it's like stuck to because acetone gonna melt that plastic. Right. So the cotton ball, she said the trash can was literally lined with nasty cotton balls from clients that had gotten their polish taken off or whatever. She was like, it was so disgusting. I was grossed out. And I was like, that would have been my cue right there. And she said that place has like 20 nail techs in it. And she said that one of the girls, who is actually one of my graduates, works there. And she said they made $20,000 on Mother's Day, like in one day. I was like, and they can't afford liners for their trash bags.
Don't want to put no money in.
They don't want to waste it. They just want to make the
They
money.
want to make money.
They just don't care. And I'm telling you, state board, they gonna get you. If they get in there, they gonna get you. And it's a good thing I don't work for state board. I told her I was gonna go down and do a nail salon review. She was like, please don't do that, cause they all know who you are. I was like, even better.
They were trying to clean up.
Yeah.
They think I'm the state board when I walk in there, and I'm like, I'm not. I'm worse than the state board. I'm gonna put you on TikTok.
Right. Let them judge you.
Right, on Instagram.
I'm gonna put you on the internet. Okay, the state board ain't gonna do that. You got to seek out. You got to seek out their information. Now they put it on their website when they get bad, bad inspections. But you got to go look for it. See, you ain't got to look for it with me. It's gonna pop up on your algorithm. You gonna see it. Okay, don't worry. I'm gonna do it just because. Sure am. Just letting y'all know. I'm letting y'all know right now. I'm coming. I'm gonna have my spy glasses on. Where they at? Let me show y'all. Oh yeah, I got them.
Yeah, you got some Ray-Bans, Meta,
You know that. You know I'm bougie. You know what my road name is? You know what my road name is? My biker name? High maintenance. They laugh at me because I be having this stuff. So I'm gonna go in there and I'm like, cha-ching, cha-ching.
the best ones they
Oh
got
no,
is
you can
Ray-Bans.
tell because it lights up when you hit the record.
Oh, okay.
Look, see, it lights up when you're recording. But I don't care. I be looking right at you. You are on candid camera.
My medicine going through my legs.
That means medicine working.
They know me when they see me. I don't care. Y'all shouldn't be doing all this nastiness. That's what you get. And I like to record because then they can't say, oh, I'm gonna sue you for defamation. Def for what? I got video proof that you was doing it. What do you mean? You better watch out. The Ray-Bans coming to get you. Okay? Just saying. Expensive.
Yeah,
Almost 300. I got the transition lenses, so they turn to sunglasses, so that's why they were a little more expensive. But yeah. But they got AI in them. I can ask it questions. I can say hey Meta, what am I looking at right now? It takes a picture and it'll say 6 students sitting in front of you paying attention and 1 sleeping.
Why y'all look at me? Come on, that girl did. You know that.
I'm just kidding. Nobody's sleeping today. Yeah, they got different ones. They got just look up Meta Ray-Bans. I love them. I wear them on my motorcycle. I take video of everything. Yeah, I love it. And I use it in my secret spy glasses. Not so secret, but they are secret spy glasses. All right. All right. So, supply trays. Supply trays are those little metal trays that you will see a lot of times the nail techs will bring it to the pedicure area, or they go to the back, get clean implements. Hopefully they're clean, put them on the tray, bring them out so that, they don't, because you're not supposed to have dirty implements in your drawers. If the state board comes in and there's just a random, like this, a random tweezer just in the drawer, and it's not in a container that says dirty or clean, that's a fine. Yeah, and I had these out because I was plucking my chin hairs this morning. Sorry, it shouldn't be in there. Put it in my Puerto Rican purse. All right. Now, the next thing you may see or need is electric nail polish dryer. That is not an electric nail polish dryer in that picture. That is a UV lamp.
Yeah.
Okay, my lady, I'm gonna need y'all to fix that. But electric nail polish dryer is a fan. Y'all remember the fan when you just had to sit in front of the fan like this? Lord, I'm so glad. And they used to have, if you was fancy, if you went to a real fancy illegal nail salon, they had the tables that had the fan in it and the feet. And you be sitting there like this. And then they had the audacity to put magazines up there. And you're like, I'm supposed to be drying my hands. And you flip it, and the spray. And you would sit there and you'd be like, okay, I think I'm dry. And that stuff don't work. It takes 24 hours for regular nail polish to fully dry. Fully. Now, there's a such thing as touch dry. And back in those days, when you got your nails done, you didn't do nothing for the next 24 hours. Like, you were like, I'm not even washing dishes tonight, okay? And going to the nail salon was an all-day affair. That wasn't, it's not like that anymore. We've got, you know, gel polish. We in and out, okay? Hey, Carla. All right, sorry, my girl's on my live right now. All right, so UV or LED lamps. I think maybe they meant to put that picture in there, but anyway. So let's make sure that as nail technicians, we're using proper terminology, okay? We do not dry our polish, it cures, okay? Now, regular lacquer does air dry, right? But when we're talking about gel, it cures. Acrylic cures. Gel polish cures, okay? And they contain an ingredient that helps them cure. We'll talk about all of that when we get to the UV gel chapter, okay? UV and LED gel chapter. Now, this is something that some of you have probably seen before, not in a nail salon, even though, well, it's not a requirement. It is an upgrade of your sanitation. But you all have seen those little white packets, right? That they peel open. Well, if you've got those, then I would infer that you have an autoclave, because that's what those packets are for. So an autoclave, first of all, what is it? It is a high temperature steam germ killer. Nothing can survive the autoclave. So when we have an autoclave here at the school, it costs $7,000. Okay, but it is the size for a school. All right, it's a salon size. You can purchase them where if you're like your own personal suite that is big enough to sit on your table. It looks like a little crock pot almost. It looks like don't y'all go get a crock pot. That is not an autoclave. That's what an autoclave is. And one we have is we call her Tootie. It's a Tuttenauer. Okay, but these you will see in doctor's office, dentist's office. Anybody who has worked in a medical field, a dentist's office, a doctor's office, you have probably seen these before. I worked at University Hospital, I don't know what it's called anymore, Piedmont now, in the ER, and sometimes we would have to run downstairs to the basement where they do all the sterilizing and get stuff because we couldn't wait for them to walk it up. And they have a whole area downstairs in the basement where they have autoclaves you can drive a Buick through. Because, you know, they actually sterilize the ones that when you go into surgery, if anybody's ever had surgery, you know, they move you out of the comfortable bed and they put you on that hard metal one. They slide you over. And then those have to be autoclave. They're made out of stainless steel. So they put their whole stretchers in there to disinfect them and sterilize. Sterilizing is different than disinfecting. So there's levels to it. So the state board does not require you to have an autoclave. You can do just barbicide. That is good enough. However, if you're going to be using those white, you know, peel open things, why are you using those? That's my question. They want you to think that you're getting something clean. Now, here's a clue. There's very, 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 obvious ways to know that something has been through an autoclave or it hasn't. First of all, if a nail salon has an autoclave, they're going to let you know they have one, right? They're going to say our implements are steam sterilized with an autoclave. They're going to have a sign that says it. They're going to have it on there. We use the highest level of sterilization to clean our implements that you can possibly have. Nothing can survive the autoclave. Nothing. Okay? Now, with barbicide, if you don't absolutely measure it correctly, guess what? You just putting it in blue water, and it could be something on there that is still living, right? So what they do is they'll take their implements, rinse them off with soap and water. If they do that, sometimes they just put a little water on it, a little pre-rinse. Yeah, still got the toenails stuck in there, and then they just shove it into the packet, and they'll throw a file and a buffer and everything they need to do the nails. Well, that's clue number one. Do you think a buffer can survive the 300? Because it's 300 degrees, anywhere from 230 to 320 degrees in an autoclave. The higher the temperature, the less time you have to put it in there. The lower the temperature, the higher time you can choose based on how much time you got, right? So a buffer would turn into a little crispy bean in there. All right. So if you ever go into a nail salon and they pull out one of those things and there's a buffer or a file or anything porous, if it's not metal, they didn't go through the autoclave.
So when you autoclave it, it can be in the plastic.
It has to be in the, you put it in the plastic, you seal it, and then you put it in there and all this steam and heat. So that's number 2 clue. It's going to come out looking like it done been through hell and back. It's not going to be pretty. It's going to be wrinkled, crumpled, but that implement is going to be sterile, okay? Nothing will be on it until you take it out and touch it. If you've ever been to the doctor, we all ladies here, when they get ready to do that yearly, exam, the doctor comes, he puts sterile gloves on, they pull that speculum out of there, and that 9 times out of 10, he don't touch anything until he has finished doing what he's doing, because those gloves have to be sterile. It's not gloves out of the box. They're the gloves that come in one of those packets that you got to, they slide their hands in all easy and stuff to not get any germs, because you don't want all that in your girly parts, right? So with that being said, once you touch those things and you put them in the packet, guess what's happening? If there's any germ or any virus or anything on it, it's just festering and growing inside of that packet. It's just because there's no air in there. It's not getting any air. It's sealed in there. So once you put it in the autoclave, obviously the heat kills it. Okay? So again, this is just an advanced level of disinfecting. Sterilization is the highest level. Okay? Not required. However, very much preferred. Okay? And the reason why I have it is because I teach the medical nail tech course. In order to be an advanced nail tech, aka medical nail tech, you have to do the autoclave training, because you will be working on clients that have medical issues with their feet. You do not want to risk giving them a disorder or some type of infection when they already got issues, right? So we use the highest level of disinfecting and sterilizing with our autoclave. So that's why I have it, because I teach how to use it. Okay, again, it is an advanced thing. Now, another way you can tell that it's been through the autoclave is there's an indicator on the packet. There's a little arrow. It will say this arrow will turn black when it has been through the autoclave. Usually it's blue or pink or some other color. Once it goes through the steam, it turns black. So I have a video on if you guys have looked at it, there's one where I actually asked the lady, I said, let me see that, because she was about to throw it away. I said, let me see that. She gave it to me. She was confused. Like, why do I want to see that? And I looked at it. I was like, y'all see this? With the glass. I was like, y'all see this? Y'all, this has not been through the autoclave. This has not, and I knew it hadn't been, because she, like I said. So they'll pre-package their stuff so that they make it look like it's clean and all. It's not. Okay? Again, this is stuff that even the regular, not nail tech people need to know. You need to know, and you have the right to ask, okay? But now you know. Any of y'all still going to these places? You go and get a pedicure every now and then. I mean, you go and get a pedicure every now and then, right? I stopped going to them people because they had my feet cracking and stuff, like from shaving all that skin off.
After I seen fungus and stuff, I said, well, I'm happy.
Too easy. You would be surprised how easy it is to get. I mean, just simply not cleaning the bowl. I showed that girl how to clean that bowl yesterday. She was just like, that's what you're supposed to do? I'm like, yeah.
None of the nail salons.
Yeah. Yeah, you're supposed to put the barber, spray it on there thick till it's wet. The whole chair need to be glistening.
And ever since
Okay.
I've been paying attention, I don't think I ever seen them.
They don't. They usually spray it with the water hose and just spray it off and dry it with the dirty towel that they just did the pedicure with. And then next, they think that little blue thing is gonna shield you like it's a condom or something. It ain't. Pregnant. We all pregnant. If you trust in that little blue liner, because you got to think about it, and you guys will see, because I'm going to show y'all how these chairs work. I think we have a pedicure coming in at 1:00. You put the liner in there, but then you poke a hole in it when you put the drain cap in it. And then you poke another hole in it when you put the magnet, the spinner thing in it. So really, if you don't clean the bowl, something's seeping through those holes. I don't care what you say. They're all during the pedicure. So what good is the liner? What it is what the clients are used to seeing. Like they love to say, and they'll say it to me, like, well, why didn't you use a liner? I said, what good is a liner? Do you put a liner in your sink after you made chicken in it last night and now you cleaning your dishes in it today? That's nothing but a sink. It's a sink. Okay? It's a kitchen sink. So when you clean chicken in your sink, don't you clean it out with bleach afterwards? Clean it real good, make sure it's clean. I promise you ain't doing it right though.
Probably not.
Because you probably just spraying and just you gotta do that. Otherwise that salmonella just sitting there. Yeah, you guys will learn. I'm telling you, I clean with barbicide at my house. I disinfect with I use barbicide. I have a bottle just like that in my kitchen, in my bathroom. After I clean everything, I barbicide everything and let it sit, and then spray it down. That's how it should be done to really clean the germs, right? Again, it's not your fault. It kind of is, but it's all right. Don't none of us read.
When you do the autoclave, do you still have to do the barbicide before?
You don't.
You just put
You have to clean. Now remember, soap and water clean, scrub, get all the germs, because you would be double doing it and really wasting the time. So you don't have to barbicide it. You can go directly into the packets, put it in there. Because it's going to kill it no matter what. But please clean all the grime and the grip and all the skin and all that stuff out from in between. There's a special way you got to clean them too. And there's a special way you got to put like for instance, if I were to put these scissors in there, right? I don't just drop it in there like that. Why? Well, no, because there's hinges here. So I'd have to open it up like this and then put it in so that the steam can get. Right, because nobody's using it like this, so it's not cleaning the inside. We're using it like this, so we need to open it, put it in there. Same thing with your nippers. You gotta spread them legs and put it in there, and that's how you do it. But nobody does. You ain't never seen them take no nippers out looking like that. So even if they did put it in the autoclave, let's say they did, it's still not clean, right? So this is why we train how to use an autoclave properly, because you can buy one and still not be doing it right.
That's crazy.
Okay. Yep. Everything survived.
I
So
bought one.
you thought, right? I know why you did. Because you bought a UV sterilizer, right? The little light box.
Yeah, I sure did. I bought it a couple weeks ago.
Well,
But
keep it, because you can use it as a night light for when you come do midnight nails. And you want to make sure there ain't no robber inside the building. You can just leave it on at 24 hours a day.
In other words, it's pointless.
Yeah.
Well, we just about to cover that too.
Yeah.
I went to the,
Yeah. So there's another picture of one, right? And look at how she's wearing gloves and she's touching everything, very, very medical, very, very medical-esque, okay? And again, if you know what you're looking for, then these people ain't doing what they're supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I actually made a career out of going to nail salons, I would probably be a big deal on the internet.
Yeah. Following?
They would hate me.
Boy.
I'm trying not to be that person in my industry, but I don't mind.
Why not?
I don't mind being that person.
I think you're probably the only person locally that
I just think that it would hold people accountable. They would be like, okay, I would do it to my students too. I'm like, I'm coming to visit your salon today.
Yeah.
Especially when you know the standards.
You know better than that. What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? I think it would hold people accountable. Again, we do things to people that can really hurt them, make them sick. Okay? And again, just in general, if you're sick and you come to work, you don't have a mask on, you can contaminate stuff. It's just, I mean, I started doing it and it was popping when I was doing it, but then I felt bad because I said, man, I'm about to have these people shut down all over. There ain't gonna be no nail salons around here. That's true. That's true. But y'all gotta be doing the right thing when y'all get out of here. Okay. All right. So this is what you were asking about. the UV sterilizers. Wait, that's not my next slide. We'll get there. Okay, so another thing that you may need is terry cloth mitts, right? These are the mitts. They're washable that you put on top of the paraffin wax. You put the wax inside of a bag. You put the hand in the bag. Then you put these terry cloth mitts over the paraffin wax to put inside of those warmers, because those warmers, they get hot and you don't want to burn the client's hand. So those are washable and they're used over the paraffin wax, okay? That's an add-on. I hate paraffin wax, but it can make you some money because you charge $10 extra and it don't cost you barely nothing to do it. You don't do anything. It's just put it on and let it sit. And I like to do it when the client's getting like a pedicure. They can just sit back, relax, and have it on their hand. Yeah, it adds to the experience. Okay, so paraffin wax treatments, again, y'all need to know that paraffin wax, so that you can let the client know, listen, this paraffin wax, it makes your hands feel super soft until you wash them. As soon as you wash your hands, it's gone. It's not like it's a forever treatment. Don't let these people lie to you. Oh, it's an anti-aging paraffin wax. No, it's not. You're going to be back old when you wash your hands again if that's the case, okay? If that's the case. So, and just remember, this is another thing that happens nasty in the salons. They will remove it off your hands, and it's in this little bag, right? And then they go right over there and throw it right back in there and reuse it because they don't want to go buy more paraffin. That paraffin, why I'm not lying, I don't tell lies.
That's another saying.
I know, but that's another one. Miss Mary don't tell lies. Put it on a t-shirt, okay? I tell the truth, even if it hurts. That's why y'all either love me or you don't. Because I'm going to tell you the truth all the time. They do it. I have done these salon walkthroughs and I've seen it. Okay, you got to go on there. It's on TikTok now. It's on TikTok. It's on YouTube. It's on all of that. And I don't only go to them places. But this is the thing. When I go, I usually get a manicure. I'll get a manicure or a pedicure with no polish. I don't need no polish. I just want you to just do the pedicure. And the service will usually be $50. I tip them $100 because I'm about to talk about you on the internet. You're going to need this little money. You better save it. You better save it for a rainy day. They be laughing at me. They be like, I would have never tipped that much. I'm like, you don't understand. Yeah. I'm about to talk about them on the internet. So I feel bad. And that's my penance. I feel bad. I be like, oh, look, one of the girls, she was like, did you mean to do $100? I said, I sure did. This is my giving back because I'm about to take it away. Okay? When you see it. And I tell names. I did one in Lakeland, Florida one time. And I was like, thank God I don't live here. I was visiting my bestie. Another thing you may want to have is a ventilation system. Okay, one type of ventilation system is a tabletop, like a Valentino or those little box ones that suck it down in there, right? Those are cool. Much cheaper than an actual what we call an Avarex, which is what you're seeing right there. That's an Avarex system. It looks like it's big like one of these, right? And then it has a thing that either goes over or you put it beside you and it will suck all the dust up. Very expensive, but very, very, very effective. Okay, because that big, it's like a big shop vac almost. It just sucks everything, right? These tables right here are actually designed for an Avarex system. You guys can't see it right now, but when I move this storage shelf right here, there's a little hole. Bless you. There's a hole on the side. And each one of these tables have a little thing that I can hook the tables together like a little chain. And then you have one of those Avarex systems stuck to the side, and it will suck all the dust from all three of the tables. You see the hole on the top of the table? I've got a little cover on it, but if I take that little cover off, because it came with a little cover for if you don't have one, it will suck all the dust down and suck it out, which is really good, works really great, but those are expensive, okay? And you got to have a few of them, okay? In some states like California, you got to have a ventilation system in your air conditioning unit. Right, that keeps all the dust, like an actual dust ventilation system. A lot of salons, that's the reason why they never really open up, is because they can't even afford the $20,000-$30,000 for the system. You what? Oh yeah, you got that weird.
Yeah, I like it too. Even chalk. Like when you dust the chalk thing
It's
on the wall.
always one.
I like that smell too. Like when you sweep in that smell.
You like the smell of
So
dust?
when you vacuum, does the vacuum smell don't just
Ew,
I know
especially.
what you're talking about.
not like a steaky smell, like not like a mildew.
I like the sprinkle stuff. That smells good, but the smell of a vacuum cleaner.
After you vacuum it up, it don't just.
Nope, it don't. It don't just. It don't just. She said, make me want to eat dirt. Ooh, girl, you got, what do they call that? Pica. They call that pica when you want to eat weird stuff. Ooh, girl. You like that. Something wrong with her, y'all. It's all right. I like weirdos sometimes. You got to watch them, though. Got to watch these weirdos. Okay. Yeah, but the dust, you want to make sure you guys are, I mean, I'm not quite sure what being a nail tech for 60 years is going to look like, you know, later on in life, but I can guarantee you if there's going to be a problem, it's going to be from breathing that dust in and constantly and things of that nature. And so try to protect yourself. All right, these are chemicals and stuff like that. All right, so this is an example of a Valentino. We have 4 of them here. You're welcome to use them. The most expensive part about these Valentinos is those filters. The filters are like $60 for 12 of them. So what I use is a paper damn towel. Right on top. And collect it and throw it right away. But those things are big and bulky and they sit on top of the table. It's, you know, they were a big thing back in the day. I don't really care for them. I use one daily when I'm, you know, doing nails on clients though, just to keep the dust down. So they are helpful. A dust collector, yep. Fancy that ventilation system is a dust collector, but there's several different types out there. You know, there's the ones like the Valentino, there's the Avarex, the big ones. There's, you know, all types of ones that drop down from the ceiling that are connected to the air conditioning unit. Those all types of different ones out there, okay? All right, so let's get to our multi-use and single-use implements. So what does that mean, multi-use and single-use? Right. So there's implements that we reuse and there's ones that we use one time, okay? So examples of a multi-use implement would be something like metal nippers or clippers, nail clippers or cuticle pushers that are metal, okay? Anything, and this is my advice to you ladies, when you start buying your implements, because these are the things that are going to cost the most money for you, but it's very important that you have high quality ones. Make sure that they're stainless steel, okay? Because you can get some that are really cheap and they're made out of, I don't know, whatever metal, some cheap metal. And when you have them in barbicide, which you should be putting them in barbicide, they will tend to rust on you a whole lot quicker than, or start to break down and not be as sharp as they used to be, okay? Now here's the thing, when we're putting stuff in barbicide, we're also only leaving it in there for the 10 minutes that it says. Put a timer on it so that you can go get it out. The longer you leave it in there, even stainless steel, if you leave it overnight, will get rust on it. And nobody wants to be getting their nails clipped or nipped or whatever with a rusty implement. It's kind of gross looking, all right? So tweezers, nail clippers, those are other examples of multi-use implements, okay? Now, single-use implements. These are implements that we use one time and then we throw them away, okay? Those would be your wooden pushers, your, and they say brushes and applicators. When they say brushes and applicators, they have these for paraffin wax, and estheticians use them, these really cheap wooden brushes that can be dipped in the wax and then you put it on the hand and throw it away. They're literally like 50 cents a piece. That's what they mean. Not your acrylic brushes and your nail art brushes. Please do not throw those away after one use. They are expensive, but you think about it, without your nail brush, you can't do nothing. And so you better get a quality one. I have brushes that I've had for 15, 20 years that I still use. My favorite brush is 20 years old. Still have it. Take very good care of it, okay? Other things that are single use are going to be your gloves. Please use a new pair of gloves on every client. I have, and I know this sounds crazy, but I have seen people pull them out of their pocket, blow it, and put them on.
I am not surprised.
That's because they're using them nice expensive ones from Sam's, them black ones that cost about $12 a box, and they real thick, and they don't want to throw them away. And they're probably working for somebody like Shayla was, that don't want you to throw away stuff. Reuse it. Don't throw. Are you throwing away buffers? We use them over and over again. No, we do not. Buffers are one-time use. Files are one-time use. Files, yes, ladies, files. The acrylic files, all files. Anything that is not metal, just about, okay? Now, these nylon brushes, these right here, let me see one. Will you give me one, Deidre? This nylon brush, it is, sorry. It is made out of a very hard plastic, and it is nylon. It can be disinfected, but can it be sterilized? No, it's gonna melt in there, okay? So there's some implements that are multi-use, but they have to be disinfected, and they're not made out of metal, okay? Some things, all right? Now, materials that we use during services, all right? First and foremost, you're going to want to have gloves and PPE, okay? Please use gloves when you're doing pedicures, y'all. I know it's easier to not, and some people are quick to say, I mean, there is a nail tech that she's very well known on YouTube she's a medical nail tech, meticulous manicurist, y'all. She refuses to wear gloves, and she says she ain't going to never wear gloves. Well, until, because she works on people that have like fungal toes and stuff like that. Y'all, please, you don't know what we talked about, tinea pedis, right? That is athlete's foot. It is very often mistaken for dry feet. That is very highly contagious, okay? Put on gloves. We don't know what these people have and what they don't have, okay? Again, we're not supposed to be working on weird looking stuff, but sometimes we do. Wear gloves, okay? Dust mask. Now, this mask he's wearing, that's kind of extreme. That's like an N95, okay? I don't know if you need all of that. But I will say this, those cheaper ones, make sure they fit really good, because I have, especially during COVID, after COVID, when everybody was still wearing masks, I just kept mine on most of the day, and I would take it off, and you'd have dust all around your nose, like you've been doing some, Right, I promise you, it's nail dust, right? So make sure that it's fitting or closed around, and that it fits your face really good, and you got it capped on there, okay? Buffers, I don't even recommend buying these big buffers like this, because you got to throw them away. They usually cost more than the little small ones. You really just need the buffer just to buff at the end or whatever. So it's not necessary for you to have a big one like that. Those are easier to use when you're trying to get, the entire nail, but, add the cost of it into your service. Don't spend a whole lot of money on stuff that you're going to be throwing away. They come in different grits. Y'all know what grit means, right? So the higher the number, the coarser the file, meaning, the lower the number. The lower the number, the coarser the file. So an 80 grit file is very coarse, okay? And buffers come in grits as well. A 240 or a 180, that's going to be medium, and then as it goes up higher, that gets finer and finer, okay, for smoothing out the nail. Just keep that in mind. Seems like it would be the other way around, right? But it's actually the higher the number, the finer, the lower the number, the coarser, okay? These are 3-way and 2-way buffers. Don't know real nail tech use these. All right, this is people buy these at the Dollar Tree, and they have them at home because they're expensive. All right, and they're for natural nails. You ever seen the ones that kind of feel like rubber? That gives you a high shine without needing any polish. So we used to use them back in the day. Nail techs don't use them, like I said, because you got to throw them away. Too expensive. Another thing that is single use, towels, y'all. Please do not reuse towels. I have seen, you would not believe, I have seen people reuse towels.
Yeah, that's one. They put them in a little machine. I've seen them. They just
For the hot towel?
But yeah, the hot towels, they change them out. I've seen a couple places that go get one, and then they have like the dirty section and then the clean section, and then they take
That's
it back
gross.
and come back out, and they
That's gross.
I don't know.
Single use. Please make sure you have enough towels in your salon for you to do your services. You know, if you're seeing 5-6 clients a day, you need to have quite a few towels. Okay, especially for pedicuring, right? Because you're going to use 2 or 3 per pedicure. Okay, and for your hot towel bins and all that stuff. Paper towels, those are also single use. If you don't throw everything away after you're done, throw everything away. I love those puppy pads. Like I said, the puppy pads, you just put a new one out, do your service. If you're doing acrylic, just wiping it on there, roll everything up, throw it in the trash, clean your table, go on about your day. Okay. Another thing but real quick about towels, this is a state board rule. Your towels, don't try to put them on a nice little, in a little cubby hole over here and just so you can display them. No. They got to be in a closed container. And you'll see back here in our supply room, it has to be in a closed container and it can have holes in it for ventilation, but the top, it has to have a top on it, and it must be labeled clean linens. And then you need another one for your soiled linens, labeled. If they come to your salon and you've got a little towel rack where you just hang your towels and everybody can just grab one whenever they want one, that is a no. That's a fine. Why do y'all think?
Because they could cross-contaminate. I guess.
All this dust in here, and that's toenail dust and foot dust and all this stuff flying around in here. You want your towels to be clean. Bacteria, yes, someone said bacteria. Okay. So cotton balls, I know it sounds crazy, but it's got to be said. Cotton balls cannot be reused. Okay. Please do not reuse any cotton balls for polish removal. Throw all that stuff away. Lint-free wipes and all of that. And please make sure you have a liner in your trash can so that they don't stick to the side. All right. Plastic, wooden, or metal spatulas. These are single use. Okay. I don't know why they said metal spatulas. Metal spatulas shouldn't be single use, but anyway. And we use these spatulas to get product out of containers. Once you get it out, throw it away. Okay. Don't go dipping your hand into the big containers of scrub and slapping it on your fingers with, I've seen that, y'all. But now with pedicures, they make the little packs, which is so convenient, pre-packed and everything. All right. Let's see. Moving right along. Now, some of the professional products that you're going to need. All right. First and foremost, soap, and not just any soap. Please don't use Dawn dish detergent on your client's hands, but antibacterial soap, liquid soap, not bar soap. Don't go to Bath and Body Works and get that, the champagne toast and put it over there. I know you want it to smell good, unless it's antibacterial, right? Because the whole point of us having the clients wash their hands is so that their hands won't have all their bacteria on it when they come and sit in your chair, passing it along to you. So the first thing you should do when your client comes in, obviously, is greet them. But before you do their service, they should be going over there and washing their hands. All right? Just antibacterial soap. Now, polish remover. Just so you guys know, there's 2 types of polish removers out there. Acetone and non-acetone. There's absolutely no reason on God's green earth for you to have non-acetone when you are a professional, okay? Why do they have non-acetone? For those people that have, their natural nails, they want to just remove the polish, and they don't want all that drying effect that happens with acetone. But in our profession, time is money. We just want to get the polish off and go, okay? Regular non-acetone polish remover, the name of it is kind of misleading. It has a little bit of acetone in it. Now, we use it in here, and you guys will be using it on your mannequin hands, because what does acetone do to plastic? It melts it, right? It melts it. So when you are working on your mannequin hand, it's not going to melt the mannequin hand, but it will melt those little tips that you got to put on the mannequin hand when you're practicing. And so in order for you to not have to put new tips on every single time you do a manicure, we use regular non-acetone polish remover to get the job done. So that way you're not spending 15 minutes every time you do a manicure just putting new tips on. Okay. But in the professional world, we really don't use it that much. I don't see polish remover in the nail salon. Nail creams, lotions, and oils. So you'll want to have some type of lotion to be able to do your massage, okay? To be able to, because you need it to slip. You need to have something. It would be really uncomfortable if you were doing a massage on somebody with no type of slip on their, cream or something, or oil to do the massage, okay? Some people like to mix cuticle oil and, cuticle oil and lotion when they're doing massage. I tend to like to do that because it just leaves their skin, feeling moist and shiny. Cuticle removers in several different colors or options for nail polish. I used to hear that complaint all the time. Folks, they would say, oh my God, you have so many options for polish. I go to the nail salon, all they got is red and nude. Different shades of red and nude. That's all they got. So try to, your polish collection is going to be very expensive, okay? If you want to be able to provide, options for your clients. Again, that's the nail art stuff. That's where you should be spending your money, is on the fun stuff. Don't spend it on equipment. We can do nails at our kitchen table at the end of the day. All right.
When you purchase nail, as a nail tech, when you purchase polish, will you get those little book things that they with the samples?
So they'll sell those to you if you buy the entire line. They come pre-made like that. They have somebody in the factory polishing a bunch of swatches. That would be my dream job. I would love to do that. But yeah, but I personally make my own swatches. I've got my swatch. It's ridiculous, the amount of swatches on there. My advice to you is every time you get a new polish, swatch it. Don't wait until you have 500 to do, because you got to label them and have the name on there and all that stuff. So anytime I try to buy a couple of new polish colors every few weeks or so, once a month. Buy 5-6 colors. I'm currently trying to build up my Sean Legend collection. That polish is amazing. The polish is, the brush is what I love about the polish, because it's a rounded brush. Sean Legend, CHAUN. You don't know who Sean Legend is?
Yeah, they sell it in the
Mr. Johnny sells it up here, so that's the reason. I buy polish that I can put my hands on. I don't buy stuff off the internet because I like to be able to. Never is the same color. It never really gives. Yeah, but it is so quality, and the color of the bottle is the actual color of the polish, so you don't really have to have swatches. You can just put it on the shelf, and the client can see what color it is. Although I don't let my clients touch my polish at all. It's in the drawer. Yeah, they want to open it. I'm like, it's the color on the bottle. Don't open it. And then your bottle gets all gummy and sticky. I don't like that. I don't let them touch my polish. All right. So, and make sure I highly recommend, if you're going to buy polishes and you do pedicures, try to get those ones that come in the duos with the regular lacquer and the polish. Because, as your teacher, I will tell you this. I will never tell you that putting gel on the toes is a good thing. It's not. It's actually awful. It makes your clients end up peeling it off. Their toenails get thin. In order to remove it, you have to file it and soak it. And if you're not doing it properly, over time your toenails get thin, and then you end up wanting acrylic toes. And then that's a whole nother issue that you do not need to get involved in, okay? So with that being said, regular polish will last on the toes. I done had a polish job last the whole summer. I'm embarrassed to say. With regular polish, if you are properly prepping the toenails and doing your manicure or pedicure prep on the toe properly, you don't have to worry about it coming off. I've had polish on so long that it grew out, and I was just clipping it. It looked like French tips by the time I took it off. Embarrassing. Wait for it. Yeah, that's a convenience. However, getting it off is just, when a client comes in and they got gel on their toes, I'm charging you to take it off. I'm charging you extra to take it off. It takes time. You got to soak it. You charge for a soak off with hands, don't you? Feet got to get that. It's going to cost you extra money. Now, also, you're going to want to have a nice variety of gel polishes, okay? And there's a such thing as hybrid gel. I don't know why they call them hybrid gels, but they look like shiny like gel, but they dry by air. Vinylux by CMD was one of those brands. It was called Vinylux. It looked like shiny patent leather or whatever vinyl, but it was an air dry polish. It just was a really high quality, super shiny, no need for a top coat type of gel polish. Super pretty. All right, so base coats. You need base coat gel and regular base coat, okay, for polish application. What is the purpose of base coat, ladies? To protect the nail from staining, and it also is designed to help the polish stick to the nail plate. It's like double-sided sticky tape. So if you are not using a base coat and you're doing regular polish on your toes, that's why your polish is peeling off. That's why it's chipping off. You need a good base coat too, one that works really well. Again, it's like a sticky tape, double-sided sticky tape. Then you may want to have, and this is again for natural nails. So let me go back to base coat real quick, just for clarity, you guys. Base coat is for the natural nail. Stop putting gel base coat on top of your acrylic after you finish the nails, putting clear base coat down, and then 2 layers of polish, and then top coat. That base coat on acrylic is absolutely a waste, and it's unnecessary. The polish is going to stick to the acrylic. It is an acrylate. It's going to stick. Your natural nail produces oils, okay? You want that barrier in between. You want to, in order to make that polish stick. So if you are doing regular polish on top of a nail, you also do not need a base coat on top of an acrylic nail. Base coat is for the natural nails and the natural nails only, okay? Even so, if you got extensions on, leave the base coat alone. You don't need it. Now, if you're doing a gel nail set, there's a base, obviously, but you put that on the natural nail, okay? It doesn't go anywhere else, all right? So that goes for regular base coat and gel base coat, okay? Hardeners, these are also for natural nails. If you got a client who's got, you know, kind of thin nails and they just want natural nail services, you can add hardeners to your repertoire, okay? I don't do a whole lot of natural nails that aren't gel manicures. I mean, who's doing that nowadays? Nobody wants regular polish on their natural fingernails. Now, their toenails, different story. Top coats. Top coat, quality top coat is very important, okay? Again, a nice high quality regular top coat lacquer and also a gel top coat, okay? You pick your poison, choose your favorite brand. We talked about hand creams and lotions already, okay? Now, I'm going to talk about really quickly because I'm going to demonstrate after we're done with the lecture, all right? But when you're doing a manicure or any service, there are parts that you need to consider. 3 parts. The pre-service, the actual service, and the post-service. What does the pre-service consist of? Consultation, greeting the client. You know, we need to normalize getting up and speaking to the client, greeting them at the door, and instead of just, you know, hey, pick your color, what you want? Oh, pedicure, go pick your color, go sit down, go number 1. That is not customer service, y'all. I know we have gotten accustomed to that. But I don't want to feel like an assembly line, you know, just the next person in line, whatever, you know.
This is called demonstration.
I'm talking about, yeah, when we get ready to do a manicure. All right, so your pre-service is also going to be setting up for your clients. Hopefully you know in advance what they're going to get if you are booking on your booking site, like, you know, again, pre-booking. If you're taking walk-ins, you don't really have any idea what the client wants, you know. But at the end of the day, they should always be coming to a table that has been cleaned from the previous client, okay? So the pre-service may also be, you know, escorting your client to wash their hands. I like to, when I'm working in a salon environment, take my client to the sink and I wash my hands too. So she knows my hands are clean. We wash them together. And you will be surprised how many clients I've had to send back to the sink to rewash their hands. We're going to do a hand washing experiment next week. You will find out that you're not really that great at washing your hands either. Okay, have y'all ever done the hand washing experiment? If you work in the medical field, you probably had to do it. Oh, you sang the song? And it do it for like a minute or something like that. Well, next week we're going to do it. We use a gel, a lotion that has UV pigment in it. So we put it all over our hands, rub it in really good into the fingernail. This lets you know the reason why they don't want you wearing nails when you're a nurse or when you're a CNA, why they say you can't wear them. Because you will see that germs, it gets all in your cuticles and you can scrub all day long and it's still there. Okay, so, but we'll get to that next week. The actual service is when you, again, perform the service, right? You now know what the client wants. You've talked about it. You said what shape, what color, what kind of designs, all that good stuff. Now you actually accomplish the service, okay? And then the post-service will be doing the procedure of cleaning up, okay, your area. Remember that you will have to, everything that you touch, there's things that you guys don't even think about. The polish bottles, all right? Bless you. The polish bottles, the lotion bottle that you picked up. That stuff hardly ever gets disinfected. What good is it for you to have gloves on while you're doing the pedicure, but no person who did the pedicure before you didn't clean the lotion bottle that you're about to pick up and put all on your hand? You know what I'm saying? So again, I try not to get to the point where I'm just like this major germaphobe. We live in a petri dish, y'all. We literally do. Okay, you have to trust that the people before you cleaned something. Otherwise, you're gonna make yourself crazy thinking about germs all day. But be considerate of the person before you and also to yourself. Make sure that you're doing this stuff. The lamp. If you touched the lamp and pulled it down, you should be cleaning that, right? That's one of the dustiest things in the nail salon. It hasn't been cleaned. Okay, so cleaning everything that you have touched is part of your post-service. Also, getting your money, right? Walk them to the register, get paid, and then try to book them for their next appointment. Pre-booking is, obviously you want to make sure that you're fully booked and booked and busy, and that's how you're going to do that. Now, again, hand washing, making sure that client washes their hands. See those nylon brushes? What I do, we don't put them in a jar and just let clients just go willy-nilly with them. What I do is I keep a container of these brushes in my drawer that is labeled clean. You'll probably have 5 or 6 of them if you're doing 5 or 6 clients a day. Hand it to the client and tell them go over there and wash your hands. Use the soap scrub, because a lot of times they won't even use that. They'll just wash their hands and go. And there's a reason for it, y'all. Your hands if you've got issues with lifting, sometimes it's because you simply didn't have the client wash their hands. How many of y'all have gone out to eat right before you went to get your nails done? You might have been eating some Popeyes or whatever, and then you've been sucking all on your finger. They don't even ask you to wash your hands. And now you've got all this oil on your fingers, around your fingers, on your fingertips. They're touching your hands. Now they're transferring that oil, and they didn't wash their hands. So that oil can be a reason why you have lifting. You want the hands to be as dry and free. And clients, they don't know. This is what they do. They'll go wash their hands, and then as soon as they come back, like, oh, girl, let me put some lotion on my hand. I just sent you to the bowl. They're like, I'm embarrassed. My hands are, it's all right. I'm going to oil you up right before you leave. Trust me. Okay? Now go rewash your hands. Lord. Okay? So, very important step. Now, y'all, please don't mind this slide. This is not my slide. This is embarrassing. But these are some of the basic nail shapes, okay? I don't know what Milady was thinking. Who did this, Milady? The basic nail shapes, first of all, squoval is not a shape. Squoval is what your nails look like when they were square and you wore them for 3 weeks and then they wore down on the sides. Like, this is a little squoval going on over here. Okay, I hate squoval. If you ask me for squoval, I'm not going to do it. I'm like, you went to the wrong nail tech. if you thought I was gonna do squoval on you, okay? Lord, can somebody go unlock that door for her? I'm sorry, she's super early. Okay. Round, oval, pointed stiletto. I don't know. That is not a stiletto nail right there. And round and oval look exactly the same. So I don't know why they got that visual there. Okay. Now let's talk about the steps of the application of nail polish. Okay. All right. So first of all, the client's going to pick a shade. All right. And when clients ask me, and I saw a video, so I don't know if y'all follow Nail Dad Studio. He's kind of he's a cool guy. He did a video on this yesterday. He was like, when clients ask me to help them pick a color, he was like, just don't do it. Because then they'll call you in a week and say, I'm just not feeling this shade. And you picked it. No, I'm not picking your color. I'm sorry. That's like picking your husband for you. I'm not doing it. You got to live with it for the next 3 weeks. So I'm not picking your color. If you ask me if it looks good on you, I'm going to say, if you like it, I love it. Right? There's no such thing. I mean, there are shades that obviously go with your skin tone, but at the end of the day, neon orange don't go with anybody's skin tone, and people love the neons. So with that being said, don't pick the color for people. Okay? Even if they say, you can do whatever you want. Nope. I will do whatever I want, but you will pick the colors that you want to wear. Okay? And then I will... if you want to freestyle, don't say freestyle and then say, but I don't want that. That's not a freestyle, darling. Freestyle means you come in here, close your eyes, I'm going to put a blindfold on, and we're going to surprise. Don't ask me for anything and then say you don't want this and then you don't want that. That's not how it works, okay? But obviously you want to have a wide variety of colors. Now, the polish application. Polish application is 4 coats, okay? Typically. Now, I will tell you this, when you are working with polish, whether it's gel or regular pot, please try to keep it to 4 coats. If you are going to be if you're trying to make a color that's sheer, not sheer, by adding a 3rd or 4th coat, if you're using regular lacquer, it's going to end up never drying. If you use gel, it's going to make the nails thicker and bulkier. And then you're like, they were so thin, and now look at them. You know, you ever did nails, and you're like, damn, they look wider than the polish, your application. So you got your base coat is coat 1. Your 2nd coat is going to be your polish. 3rd coat, another layer of polish. And then your 4th coat is your top coat, okay? A lot of these polishes are so high quality nowadays, you don't even need 2. But, you know, I tried that with a client one time, and then her polish started to fade because you just need that 2nd coat. I just feel like it's just do it. Do the 2nd coat. But don't make it so thick, okay? Especially with gel. You don't want to make it too thick.
Red polishes are really pigmented.
Yeah. I haven't used too many of Madame Glam's because I'm very kind of skeptical of Amazon nail polishes and stuff like that. But you like it, I love it, girl. All right. Now men's.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
You do that the white coat under the neon.
Oh, that is a must. If you're using a neon color that doesn't have like a base of white in it, like those sheer neons, always use a white underneath it. And then if you do, you still can get away with 1 coat of the neon, 1 coat of the white, 1 coat of the neon, because it's already needs a backdrop to it, if that makes sense. All right, so when it comes to men's manicures, usually, and this is 2025, we got a lot of men with low testosterone, high estrogen, and all of that stuff going on around here that like to wear female style nails, and that's totally fine. My best friend, I do his nails. He wants them this long. He's a whole man out here in these streets, but he likes sometimes to wear nails. He sent them to me. He was like, show them. I got him on my phone. He was like, show your students when you did my nails, because he loved them. So nothing wrong with that. Okay, you do what you want. However, in general, when you got the manly men, they want the shorter nails. Usually you're not gonna ask them what shape they want them. It's gonna be as short as possible. Just cut them down, round them out on the sides. Don't leave any sharp edges, no square, no, stiletto and all that stuff. And round is the most common shape. They just want you to just clean them up, okay? Now this again is a man with the polish here, okay? Let's not sugarcoat anything. I mean, you know, like Little Uzi Vert wears nail polish. A lot. One of the what is that guy from One Direction? He's got a whole polish line. One of those white boys. I can't remember his name. He's got a polish line with all kinds of colors, and he's a man, and he's apparently straight. I don't know what he does outside of, you know, in his bedroom, but he has a polish line, so it can be done. All right, but where you're going to make your money, the most money, is going to be on your massage with your clients. Okay, the massage technique. More pressure, a little bit more firm. Don't be so gentle with them. They want a little bit more, a little more aggression with their massage. Okay, and when it comes to color, you can either buff their nails to a high shine. I mean, I've had men come in here that are like, I want a manicure, and I'm like, do you want polish? And they're like, what? You know, just buff me. I don't need a buff, just buff it. You know, a matte top coat is a thing, okay, for men. Also, just like I said, like a clear top coat. Sometimes they'll ask for that. We had one in here yesterday getting a manicure. He wanted a clear top coat, shiny, okay? So it just depends on the man, you know. Now, when we talk about our massage techniques, this is very important. You guys need to know the names of these techniques, okay? But before you start massaging anybody, you need to make sure that you do a consultation with them, okay? And when I say a consultation, you're going to ask them questions like, and this should be something that you ask all of your clients that are getting massaged or in general, okay? I have it on my booking site. When a client they book an appointment, I just ask them, do you have any medical conditions that you think I should know about? Like diabetes, you put like, for example, diabetes, high blood pressure, low blood pressure. If you've ever had a stroke, do you have arthritis, right? Because people who have these conditions, first of all, should not be getting massaged, okay? And if you do, then there's a special massage that we do. We teach this in the A&T medical course, okay? That's called a feather massage, where you don't hardly touch them at all, okay? But most people, especially if you have arthritis, you don't want somebody, you know, taking your foot and twisting it around and crunching your toes and pulling on them and all of that stuff. You know, when I do my foot massage, I got my fingers all in between your toes, like, and your hand massage, you know, doing all this. You know, it feels good, you know, but if you had arthritis, you wouldn't want that. So, and then also when you're doing your massage, try not to, you know, that's supposed to be like the relaxing portion of it. Try to refrain from talking all loud. And I mean, if you're in a salon and the environment is playing music and it's a lively place, you know, and if the client, I always use the rule of thumb, if the client is talking to you, then it's okay to talk to them, right? If they're talking to you. Now, if they're over there like, because I have been in salons where I'm like, I wish she would shut up. I'm trying to sleep. And that's why I hate salons that let children in there. Because I'm like, why am I hearing your baby scream in the background or your little kid running around, mama, mama? Oh, it's so annoying. So annoying. All right, so the general massage techniques and the names of them. The first one is effleurage. That's how you pronounce it. Effleurage. Okay? Effleurage is simply just pulling in a straight line or going up and down in a straight line. You're just going, no twisting, no kneading, nothing like that. Okay? And a massage therapist would tell you that when you massage, you bring the energy out. Okay? Like you start from high up and you pull the energy out. Okay? That's effleurage. All right? And the way I like to remember that, this probably sounds weird, but you got those two F's. And they, you know, when you write an F, straight line, you know, two of them there, imagine your hands just doing like this. Effleurage is straight down. All right? The next one is petrissage. That's how you pronounce it. Petrissage. All right? Petrissage is when you are doing a kneading or twisting motion. Okay? You are literally making bread over here. You're, you know, doing anytime you are twisting your fingers or doing any type of repetitive motion like this in circular motions. Now, the way I like to remember that one, you got those S's, 2 of them right there. That's kind of a circular, twisty motion, right? So petrissage, again, having a circular motion. You're not just going straight up and down, okay? The next one is very easy. That one is tapotement. And it's got the name in it of what you actually do. It's a tapping motion. Anytime you are tapping, you might be going down the leg. You've seen people do like this. Maybe they are actually, tapping on the hand. Very, very simple motion, tapotement. Okay. You might see like a massage therapist. They might be beating on their back or whatever the case may be. Okay, tapping, any tapping motion. Usually the chair does it for you. I know ours does. Okay. Now, vibration. This one, if any of you guys can vibrate, please come show us. I want to see it. But vibration is generally, the chairs do that, right? It's a very, very fast, continuous trembling or shaking. I can't vibrate on a client. I don't think I've ever done that. But friction is when you press one layer of tissue over another, or when you're twisting in opposite directions. You may see a client, you may do this motion where you're twisting because the finger goes this way, but you're twisting it in the opposite direction. You may see someone twisting the wrist, or going like this, or even the legs like this, okay? But usually it's generally the fingers and the toes that you're twisting in the opposite direction. You might hear popping or whatever. Feels really, really good. All right. Now, just remember when you are massaging someone, try not to like scare the hell out of them. Just all of you are doing like this, and all of a sudden you're like, pop, 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 Try to make your movements rhythmic and consistent, okay? Because this is supposed to be relaxing. Supposed to be, okay? Now, let's talk about the process of the difference between a spa manicure and a basic manicure, okay? First of all, a spa manicure is designed for relaxation. It's going to have a results-oriented reason for you doing it, right? For instance, you might have a manicure that is an anti-aging manicure, or it might be a paraffin wax manicure that, maybe you have CBD in it or something, like a CBD manicure, or, it has some type of result that you're supposed to get from it, okay? Again, it might have some type of ingredient that's supposed to, like lavender or eucalyptus or something like that, for a specific reason, okay? Now, these are always going to be a little more expensive, a spa manicure versus a regular manicure. For instance, you may add a mud mask to the pedicure. That is not a basic pedicure. That's going to be something added to it, where you add hot towels. Same thing. You can do the same thing on the arms. You add warm towels, and that will now make it a spa manicure. If you added a scrub to your manicure, it would be a spa manicure, okay? So anything that has an additional technique to it outside of the normal basic manicure is going to now cause that to be a spa manicure, okay? Now, a themed manicure, that's a little different. Let's just say you're one of those, real happy-go-lucky people that likes to have a little special every holiday. You're like, okay, 4th of July nails is coming up. If you get a 4th of July theme, I'm going to throw in free nail art, okay? One thing I will tell you, I don't think you should ever do. Never do discounts. You're going to get to the discount people that come only when you give a discount. I like to give my clients that are regular clients something free. I don't do Groupons. I'm not going to give you you get a birthday set every year because you only see that heifer on her birthday, right? Give your clients that are your regular clients something for free. So rather than a discount, don't say 10% off, $5 off, whatever, because then they take advantage of that, or people will only come when you do a discount. Now, I will do, like I said, free nail art. Maybe I'll throw in like you're getting a free cuticle oil today with, you bring a friend. She gets maybe a free something, right? It's always going to be something that don't cost you anything. For instance, nail art is not going to cost you anything but maybe a few moments of your time, right? But also, your polish, the first time it got used, it paid for itself. So now all that polish is free. So if you say, okay, well, you charge extra for cat eye, and during Halloween, you're like, I'm going to give you free cat eye for this month, right? There you go. It paid for itself the first time somebody used it, okay? Because you charged $10, $15 for gel polish. The bottle didn't cost you more than that, okay? So, and you may also have a themed manicure that is, for instance, it might be for a specific holiday, right? You got Valentine's Day or Mommy and Me or something like that, okay? So keep that in mind. Also, so we're going to be closed next week. How you doing? Good. We're waiting on Jill. She'll be here to do your pedicure, okay? We're not going to be here next week because we all voted that it is a holiday weekend. I ain't got no life, so I was going to do class. But that half of the class was like, Miss Mary, we got a cookout on Saturday and Friday. And, I was like, okay. Well, I guess we won't have class next week. But in trade for the class that you will not have next week, in order for you to get credit for next week, you will have a project. Okay, and this is the project.
Right. Them notes gonna get with me. Right.
This is the project. Okay, this is what other students did. A themed manicure. Okay. With the nail, if it includes nail art, if it doesn't include nail art, obviously I always keep the students that do the best work for, examples, okay? This young lady, Jenna, she is an artiste, okay? But she did this one. This one was, her special was a Disney summer special. And because she likes to do character art, she's an artist. So she was like $10 for a character nail, $5 for interpreted character nail, or something this was something that she came up with, but this was Winnie the Pooh. And so I was like, you mean $10 a nail, right?
Right.
She was like, no, I was just gonna do it. I was like, no, ma'am. You see that word? Y'all pass that around. And then this young lady, which we lost one of the S's. It was Baby Boss. She was actually pregnant at the time. When she was in school, and she made this one. It was a mommy manicure, $70 with gel polish and design. If you were having a baby shower or whatever, she would do a theme for your baby shower. So you guys come up with a themed manicure, and think of something that you might actually do in your salon, so you can keep it in. I want it physical. I want a physical something. Okay, you got 2 whole weeks to do it. Make you have some little press-on tips. You can put those were little press-on tips that she just glued to it. Isn't that cute? Now again, these are like the students that impressed me, that put their foot into it. Now we've had some that they showed up with a little swatch stick and presented it, and they did it outside in the car on their way to class. But the better you do, the better the grade. Okay, and the more I will, y'all do something nice. If you may have something, yours might be some type of special manicure and it don't have nothing to do with nail art. Not all of you guys are artists, okay? Not all of y'all are great at nail art. So I'm not gonna force you to do a special. That this is something that I want you to do because it's gonna help you when you graduate. And you have your own salons out here and you're trying to think of something that you can do to bring clients in the door. So maybe your themed manicure is, and if it is, let's just say, look at the one on the screen. I know you can do that, right? Say it's a Valentine's Day set, and if you choose a red color, we're gonna donate $5 of the service to a homeless shelter. It could be something that's to be creative. If y'all ain't using Chat GPT, what the hell is wrong with y'all? You better ask Chat GPT to come up with a themed manicure for whatever your favorite thing is. Okay, I don't care if you love riding motorcycles. Ask Chat GPT to make you a theme, and don't tell me you use Chat GPT. But I ain't gonna ask you. Just just do something creative. Okay, come up with something creative. All right. So another thing that you might do is you might add to your theme. Like for instance, we talked about how they add champagne to the service, right, at some salons. So you may you can sit at one of these nail tables. Just go ahead and start doing the manicures. That's what you got to do. She's so funny. She's like, I'm gonna sit over here. You ain't interrupting. You interrupted me by going over there sitting like you a client. I'm like, what are you doing? You a student. Go do some services. You all right. She drive 2 hours to school, y'all.
Oh,
so
yeah, she good.
she had to pee.
If she get here early, that means that she got up
I'm
even
good.
earlier.
And she was here yesterday too.
Honey.
So, all right. So you may want to add refreshments, but I will tell you this, y'all. Please be careful with that. Not everybody can handle their alcohol, okay? And me, I'm gonna ask for 3. So I hope you have more than one. I'm gonna be that client that's like, can I get another one? And make it full this time, okay? I'm just saying.
Don't they
So-
got like the mini bottles?
they do, and here's another thing about that. You guys remember, so we got Richmond County and we got Columbia County, right? Elise, you's a student. Come sit down and do some work, baby. Come on over here. I know y'all see these new tables and y'all like, I'm scared to sit at them. We got new equipment, so you get to be one of the second person to do a pedicure. Oh, Elise.
Oh, I can do that.
You can do it? Yes. We don't have to wait for Gio because she's a senior student. She can take care of you. So do you remember what she did yesterday? Or do you need me to help you with that too? Okay. Just go get all the stuff you need from the back. Just grab one of those pedicure packs from back there. And give her options. Like, come and let her pick her flavor. You bring it to her.
Oh,
But you can go ahead and sit her at one of the chairs. Yep, that one is whichever chair you want. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Richmond County, Columbia County, right? All of y'all live in Augusta? Okay. So in Richmond County, it's perfectly legal for you to give away alcohol for free as part of your service, right? In Columbia County, you cannot. They will fine you. You will, if the city shows up and you are giving away, even if it's free, you're going to get a fine for serving alcohol in your establishment and you do not have a special license or liquor license, okay? If you decide you want to charge for any alcohol while you are in a salon setting, you are going to be fined because you cannot charge for alcohol without a liquor license. So how you get around that is you put the price of it in the service, right? So you got your margarita pedicure, you give them a margarita, which I do not recommend serving nobody alcohol. Give them some sparkling cider.
Right.
Sparkling cider, okay? Not to mention they go home, get in an accident on their way home, and then you feel bad, all right? Waterless manicures are a thing. Tyshell, I want you to do me a favor. You graduating today, but she's about to do a pedicure on this young lady here. You know how to use this stuff, right? Will you help her with it? Elise, yeah, because just help her. Huh? As soon as I'm done, yeah. Yeah, just wait, because I'm not done. I still got to do the demonstration. Yeah. Didn't I tell you like 2 o'clock? Did I tell you? Oh, yeah, 2 o'clock. Yeah. So, just wait, just a minute, okay? All right. So, now as far as infection control, I already told y'all about paraffin wax. Don't be reusing the paraffin wax, okay? There's several ways to do paraffin wax. You can use the cheesecloth method, plastic bag method. We will do a demonstration on paraffin wax another day. Okay, it won't be today. And then also, just remember that paraffin wax it only is for the moment. It's not for, forever. So Tyshell, I meant like back there with her. She don't know what to get for a pedicure. She, as far as gas, she's probably back there looking at the wall like, what do I get? What do I get? These are new chairs. They're brand new chairs, so she's probably like not really quite sure what to get. Okay, so let's see. And then so that's the end of this chapter, y'all. So I'm going to show you guys how to set up for your manicures, okay? Now, let me move this stuff back a little bit. Because you're going to want to take a photograph of it. Once I started here. Let me move this out. Bless you. I don't know how you is sitting there with all that sneezing.
Yeah, Benadryl is gonna be my best friend as soon as I get home.
Sheesh.
I much prefer having a cold over my sinuses flaring up, honestly.
Girl.
Because it really be putting me through the ringer. Because like my eyes start leaking real bad and draining, so like I'm crying, and then like I got so much pressure in my nose. I'm just like, man.
Hey, you going through it over there.
I'm like, man.
No.
All right, y'all. So, when you go to State Board, I have the kits that you can, purchase that's already put together, everything you need in the kit for you to do your State Board, okay? And it's, you'll need the bag, you'll need the actual kit because there's a special bag. And when we get to the State Board section, you guys will, I'll tell you when you take your picture. You don't need to do it now, okay? Everybody got their phone out, okay. All right, so, and I'm trying to keep this from being.
Live replay back, right?
Yeah. I got a whole Apple store over here, y'all. But that's how I make it, learn, so y'all can remember this stuff and have good visuals. All right, don't mind that black spot. I was cleaning the board with it. All right, so you'll need 2 towels. When you do a manicure, you're gonna need 2 towels, all right? The first one we're gonna take, hey Gio, we're going to roll it up, and this is going to be your client's armrest, right? I probably need to bring this up a little bit so that it's not so zoomed in. Yes, dear.
Do I need to put tips on my finger?
You can if you want to, but you don't have to. You don't have to. Here's the little stickers for it if you want to, but you'll have to ask one of the senior students to show you till I'm done. Okay. All right. Let me unzoom this. That's why it's so close. There we go. Okay. So now y'all can see. All right, so you got this roll. This is for the client's arm, so it's going to be here. Then you'll have another towel. Again, this is a State Board manicure. When you are in your real life, you might use a puppy pad. You might just use a big, pretty, fluffy towel from Sears or something. Ooh, not Sears.
Sears been closed for a long time. My mom used to work there. I was like, Lord.
I swear I'm not 60, y'all. I'm telling my, you know what I meant. Home Goods. Target. Okay, sorry. Yeah, you. Emily don't. It's been closed a long time. It's been closed a long time. And it opened back in the 1920s. It used to be Sears and Roebuck's. Then they changed it to see anyhow. All right. So the next one is just going to be right here like that. Okay. Now, your manicure bowl. When you look at this, I want y'all to make sure that you are putting it in the right direction, because if you have it this way, that means you're getting a manicure. This way, we're going to the spa pool. We're going to the pool. All right. This is the direct, so the tab needs to be facing you. Grab the tab, lay it right there. Okay. You know that I told y'all yesterday that water will fill up on. Let me help. Hold on one second.
Because I'm looking for the thing that's supposed to hold the topper. What was it?
It should have been in here. You just grab this one. Sorry. It's okay. How you like your water? Good. This autofill. Okay. And then
Oh, did you fix it?
it will stop on its own. Okay. She did some stuff yesterday for the first time on a client. Just check that temperature on the water. Make sure it's good for her. Is it getting hot? Turn. Okay, so see that knob in the middle? You're gonna turn it.
Which one?
It says hot on one side and cold on the other. Look at it real close. Okay, so just turn it a little bit. Make sure it's not too hot. That's cold. You're turning it cold. You're turning it cold. Turn it. Is it too hot? Okay. Well, ask her how she likes it. Let her feel it with her tongue. Y'all, okay, y'all ready? All right, so we got our manicure bowl here. All right, next thing, your client's hand. The client's hand. The mannequin hand, okay? So the mannequin hand, all right, when you go to state board, you're going to have to put little tips on top of this, okay? I provide you with the tips and you have to glue them on. They're going to check your hand when you go to state board to make sure that the tips are glued on and not like with stickers or whatever, because there is a whole section where you got to soak off the nail. And if you got it where you can just pop it off, then you're cheating, okay? So they're going to check to make sure that it's glued on and they're glued on properly. Now, this is a silent exam, so you don't talk during the exam, okay? How you let the proctor know that you're finished or you're ready to move forward is by the direction of the client's hand. So when you get ready to start, make sure that the hand is always facing you while you're setting up. Because if you like, okay, well, I'm gonna set up my table and you've got the hand turned this way, they think that you're already done setting up the table, and then they're going to dock you points because you haven't set your table up. There's a table setup section, okay? That easy to pass because it's just a setup. You don't even have to do anything other than set up your table. But easy to fail if you don't wear gloves while you're handling the disinfecting wipes and all of that stuff. If you don't sanitize your hands before you start touching stuff, it's a big deal, okay? But we're not going to go into that much detail today, okay? We're just going to be doing the manicure. So you're going to have your little hand laid here, pointing towards you so that the client, the proctor knows you're not quite ready to say you're done. Now, you're going to get a little bag that has all of these products in it, okay? It's got oil, it's got lotion, polish remover, cuticle remover. We've got soap. Oh my God, I smell alcohol. That's it. It smells like. Okay, so you can turn that massager on. She can turn it on, or you can turn it on, but it's down there. Turn on her massage. We want that.
And then the jet.
Put this on here. It's not on there. Put that in there. You see?
Sorry.
I thought you were watching this yesterday.
Yeah, I couldn't see into it.
Okay, turn it off because it's on and it's not going to stick.
Okay.
Okay, now turn it on. All right, there you go. Oop, there you go.
It's okay.
I'm fine. All right, Gio, why don't you come over here and just assist? There you go. Just make sure that we doing everything we're supposed to be doing. Okay, you got red polish here, you got base coat, and you got top coat. Okay, we're gonna put these in order in a second. Now, this polish isn't quite red. It's supposed to be red, but I think this one got mixed up with something over there. All right, so it's got to be red polish. It cannot be caliente orange with a splash of sunset, glitter and all of that stuff. It's got to be red. I mean, hooker red, streetwalker red. At least that's what my granny used to say. Oh, hookers wear red polish. I'd be like, oh, I love red polish. You couldn't wear it back in. You couldn't wear no red. Now you weren't allowed. Too grown. That means you're not ready to, because you can't talk to them. You can't say, I'm ready. You can't raise your hand. Don't even smile at them people because they're not going to smile at you. They're not very nice people. And that's a reason for that. They don't want anybody to feel like they're getting special treatment or anything like that. Okay? Yeah, do not talk to your neighbor. If you two happen to get the test on the same day, by all means, sit next to each other, but don't you look or talk to her like that. Like, don't do it, okay? Just be there for moral support, energy, okay? Don't talk to each other, all right? So we've got all of these things lined up here, all right? We'll put them in order in a second. The next thing that you're gonna get is a little bag that says clean, disinfected implements, all right? One thing that'll be in there is your nylon brush. You're gonna have a buffer in there. You're also going to have, let's see, where are my, here they are. This and this.
Miss Mary, where's the straight clippers?
Hmm?
Where's the straight clippers for toes?
Straight buffers for toes.
Straight clippers.
You don't have any clippers in your kit?
No, I checked them. They don't have any
How embarrassing. There's clippers inside the supply room on the shelf. There's a shelf where the disinfected implements are. Look to your left. All right, and then you've got a cuticle pusher, a wooden one, and also an emery board. Y'all know the difference between an emery board and a file, right? What is this for compared to
Natural nail.
for the natural nail? You see them on a tray. It's a tray back there. Okay, so you got that, and then also you're going to have a pair of nail clippers. Okay, and these are fingernail clippers, not toenail clippers, which is what she's back there searching for. She should have in her kit. Okay. Just saying, you all good. You got to get all this stuff when you come. That's why you put it in your locker, so that when clients come, you have them. All right. Now, Q-tips. What are Q-tips for?
Cleaning up any nail
Cleaning up
polish.
around the nail polish, and also application of these products, because these are in just little containers right here, right? That's how we do it the clean way. And then the last thing, I need some cotton. Will you hand me one of those cotton balls? And also one of them, the containers of cotton balls, and also the hand sanitizer, because you're gonna, they're inside a little yellow, and then a hand sanitizer.
When you put the Q-tips
Yeah,
down,
just those
is
two.
it a certain amount, or you just put your hand?
I put 4 or 5 in there, so that you'll have them in case you need them. But you can put, if you only, I hope you have more than one. I put 5 or 6 in there, because you're gonna need some. Tashelle, can you assist them with finding a, please, or you ain't graduating today if you don't help me. I need you to help me.
So, are those just
I don't know
regular
how
cotton
we
balls
having such a
straight?
hard time finding, there's some clippers in that drawer over there. Everybody should have a pair of clippers in their kit. All right. Cotton balls. All right. Now, you'll also have a bottle of water and a little container of soap. This is all going to be in your kit for State Board, okay? Now, how we're going to set this up, okay? We're going to set it up in the order in which a manicure is done, okay? So, the first thing that we do, they know that this is not a real human, okay? This is a mannequin hand. It's not going to get up and go wash its hands, okay? So what you're going to do is you are going to sanitize your hands and sanitize your client's hands, right? So the first thing we do is sanitize. So I'm going to put this right here. Thank you so much. Sanitize the client's hands. So I put it right there at the front, up here. Now some of y'all be flipping stuff the other way. That's fine. Maybe you put it up here. It's up to you, but I just feel like this is more natural to start from the front and move this way, okay? Now, the next thing we do, you're going to assume, let's just say, China, you come in and you want to get your nails done. What do I have to do to your nails to do anything first? The first thing. I mean, physically. You gotta take the polish off. Now, this client does not have any polish on their hands because it's just doesn't. But at State Board, you gotta pretend it does. So the first thing we do after we sanitize the client's hand is remove the polish. Bless you. So we put the polish remover right there. That's the first thing. All right? So polish remover is the first step. We're gonna remove that polish with a cotton ball, okay? After we remove the polish, let's just say now you want your nails shorter and you want them reshaped. So what do I need to do to them? Let's say they were your real nails, not acrylic. Clip them down. Once you clip them, then we got to do what to them? We clipped them. Now they all rough and clipped. File them. And then we need to buff them because they're going to be rough. Now, everything that I'm doing right now, these steps, is what they should be doing over here. Because a pedicure is exactly the same as a manicure on the feet. Okay? Huh? What now? Doing what?
She got a wax yesterday.
You got a wax?
A leg wax. I got my legs waxed.
Yesterday?
It was like 10:30 yesterday morning.
Oh.
But am I still
So it's a state board rule. It's a state board rule that you cannot get a pedicure. Will be fine if it, and this is a school. Yeah, so you can't get if you've had wax or if you've had shaved your legs within 24 hours.
It's got some skin irritation. It's like it's open. So it's
Yeah, and being that this is a school, you know what I'm saying? I kind of have to, teach them the right way to do it.
Okay.
But yeah, but what she can do is she can just finish out. I mean, do your polish change and all that stuff. But as far as the legs, I wouldn't do any massage.
I wasn't gonna do the
Yeah, no
legs.
massage. Is that okay?
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, just don't do any of the massage and scrub. Okay.
Okay.
Because that way, that it can risk an infection. If it was just me, I would probably, maybe. But because I gotta teach them the right way to do stuff. Yeah, unfortunately. I'm sorry. I guess I probably should put that on the website. If you have shaved or waxed your legs, you can within 24 hours don't book a pedicure. But for next time. And they technically shouldn't be doing it, just so you know, when you go anywhere else. But you'll be okay. Your legs look nice and shiny and moist. They look nice and moist and shiny. I think you'll be okay. But she can do the rest of the stuff to the bottom of your feet, all that treatment and everything. But good call. Nice one. See, that's why Tashelle ended up leaving. That's Tashelle, y'all. That's the one I was telling y'all about that went to the salon and left.
Oh, she's the one with that story. Okay.
Oh, I done told the whole internet, okay? I'm just saying. All right, so where were we? Clip file shape, right? Because you got to buff them and all that stuff. And you want to prepare the natural nail because a manicure will last really, really well if you do the preparation properly, right? So now we've clip file shaped and buffed the nails to the shape we want them, the length we want them, all of that good stuff. Now, when you do this at state board, these tips are already going to be short. They're already going to be round. You're going to mock most of the stuff you're doing. You should not be, they should not hear on the nails because you should have already put some little short tips on here ready for the state board, okay? Again, don't think about this too much right now. We'll get to that, all right? So I laid this out in the order, clip, file, shape. Yeah. Well, I want you to think like that because tomorrow will come very quickly, okay? Ask these ladies, okay? It will come very quickly. Now, clip, filed, and shaped them. Now the next thing we need to do is what? Let's just think about what we have over here and what we have over here, okay? Cuticles, right? Now, just because I need to say this because I forget that you guys are new and you don't already know this, but you put the cuticle remover on the nails, then the nails go in the water, okay? Not in the water, then cuticle remover, and then push, okay? The cuticle remover goes on the nail, then you put the hand in the water, let it soak, and then you push the cuticles back. Because remember, the cuticle remover is there or used, the reason we're using it is because the cuticles are stuck to the nail. So what's the point of the water? Just to wash the hands? No, it's for you to soak that product on the nail, in the water, okay? Now, we do not have any water in this bowl. So a lot of students will get confused, like, well, when do I put the water in? It doesn't matter. You could put it in. You could have said, I want to put it in first. But please put the water in the bowl before you put the hand in the bowl. Because if it's empty, then what you doing? Okay? So, got a empty bowl here. So, we are not going to put actual water in the bowl today because I don't want to be washing a bunch of wet towels, okay? You're going to pretend, all right? So at State Board, you're going to open this water bottle up and you're going to pour some water in here, okay? And then we are going to take a very small amount of soap, okay? And we're going to drop it in the bowl. Psh, splash, all right? Put it back. So we've got water in the bowl now. The next step would be cuticle remover. You're going to open this up, dab the Q-tip in there, and then we're going to apply it. Where is the cuticle, y'all? Where does it reside? On the nail what? There you go. You on in the nail bed. You ain't got no nails. Okay? So we're going to take the Q-tip and we're going to apply it to the cuticle area on the nail plate. Not the skin up here, not all around and all that stuff, okay? It's not necessary. Just apply it there, do it on all 5, okay? Boom, 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 boom. This right here will then go where? In the trash. So you guys are going to get some trash bags today, 3 of them, okay? One is trash bag, brown bags. One is a trash bag, one says soiled linen, one says to be disinfected. At the State Board, you don't have your linen bag that you got back in the dispensary. You don't have a trash can that will be under your legs like you do here, and you're not going to have a little container to put all your implements in when you're done. So those bags symbolize those 3 things. And they're going on the floor. If you can see how she's got hers over there. Hopefully, I think they're over there. I think, okay, because I can't see. I'm like, I can't see. It's okay. So she's got her bags beside her to be able to put her stuff in there, okay? All the trash goes in the trash, and anything that you use during your State Board goes where it belongs in those 3 bags. You never want to leave any trash or anything that's, not where it's supposed to be, okay? So this would go in the trash. I'm pretending I put it in the trash. Then it goes in the water like this. Don't try to do any acrobatics and force the fingers in there. We know it's not going to bend and fit in there. Just put your hand in there. And then you're going to say, Ms. Mary, well, how long do I keep it in there for? My rule of thumb is look for the proctor, the person who's doing the test. Look her in the eye.
Right.
And then come out. Okay? There's no need for you to soak this man. Don't time in your head 30 seconds. Don't do that. It's unnecessary. This hand is doesn't have any cuticles on it, and there is no special time frame. You got 20 minutes to do 1 manicure on 1 hand on a non-human, okay? Don't overthink this, okay? You over there just mind turning. How long? Don't do it, okay? So now we're going to take it out. And then the next thing we do is we're going to push back the invisible, non-existent cuticles, okay? Don't overthink this either. They're not there, but we're going to pretend, right? So what are we going to do? We're going to take our little cuticle pusher, and we're going to go on all 5. Okay? And then clean out from under the little nasty fingernails right here. Just go ahead and scrape under there. That's a little extra added step. Just go in there. Clean out, because that's what you would do in real life. Yeah, we're going to scrub, we're going to pull that off, right? So now, you did a great job. They're all gone. No cuticle left, right? Where does this go? Trash. In the trash. So we're going to bloop, drop that in the trash, right? Now, you got this right here. Even though there's nothing on this hand, in a real life situation, you would have some residue of some cuticle skin and all of that stuff on the nail. So we're going to take this little brush, dip it in the water, and then we're going to brush that off, okay? Like so. And then where does this go? Because you don't need it anymore. To be disinfected bag. Bloop, drop it in there, okay? Now, the hand might be a little bit wet. Don't use your cotton balls because you're going to need that. Just take your towel right here and just dry it off, because when you do your State Board, it's going to be wet. So now that we have done that, so we got our polish remover, we got our cuticle oil, we got all those things lined up where we need them to be, right? Okay, we got all that stuff lined up. What's the next thing we're going to do? because all we got left on this table is oil, lotion, alcohol, and that's don't even need to be
We're
there.
gonna do the base coat.
Now, would you polish before you massaged, or would you polish after you massage? Because you don't want to mess up the nails, right? So, just so you guys know, you got oil and you got lotion here. The only reason I put oil and lotion in here is because I do sell these kits to people that went to other schools, bless their little hearts. But I do sell them to them, and their teachers teach them to use oil, or they may teach them to use lotion. We have the oil, but we're not going to use it because that's too oil. Can you imagine? On this plastic hand, you be trying to catch like a wet fish trying to catch it, okay? So we take a little bit of the lotion, and my advice to you is to use this much.
This is making my imagination very
That much, okay? You know why? Otherwise, if you use more than that, now you might want to use that much, okay? If you use more than that, you're just going to be lotioning your own hands, okay? And then that's more slippage, more slidage, more all of that, okay, that you don't really want to do. Again, this is mostly mocking it, okay? So you put the oil on, the lotion, and we're going to rub our hands together. So we got all that lotion on our hands. And then we're going to do the massage. Now, you're going to do all 4 of those techniques. Well, the vibration you can't do. And if, like I said, if you can, please show us. All right? So we're going to do the effleurage. We're just going to go like this. Okay? This should take you less than 10 seconds to do all of them. And we're going to do the petrissage. Okay? And then we're going to do our, which one is this? Friction. Right? Okay, and then what's the last one? No, we said we ain't vibrating now. Tapotment. Okay, just tap a few times. Done. All right. Now, after we do that, our hands all greasy. That's what the alcohol's for. So we're gonna take a little bit of cotton ball, and you'll understand why I say a little bit in a minute. And we're going to remove all the grease off the fingernails because we want our polish to stick. Then this goes where? Trash. Now, obviously, so we got all this in order right now, okay? The last step is to base coat, 2 coats of polish, top coat, all right? And then the very last thing that we do when we're finished with all of that is we're going to sanitize our hands one more time, and then we do this. I'm finished. Now, this is what's going to get you because they don't care nothing about how great the manicure is. They just want to make sure there's no polish all over the place. Do the best you can, Try not to, if there is, now I will tell you with the mannequin hand, if you get polished, that's what these Q-tips are for. Go in there and get some polish remover. Clean it off as you go. Don't wait till the end because this is a plastic hand and it is polished and it will stick really, really good and you won't be able to get it off and you'll be trying to scrub to get it off and stay bored. Okay, get it wet. As soon as you see it wet on the cuticle area, get it off. Okay, get it off. Now, this is what they're grading you on. Sanitation, 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 and then sanitation. That's it. They know that you're not that great at polishing yet. They know that you're a new nail tech. They know you're going to get better. But if you nasty, you just nasty. Right? If you don't sanitize your hands and you don't sanitize that client's hand, there's no change in that habit. You're just not going to do it. So what they're looking for, because these people are not nail techs. They are Walmart cashiers that work there part-time that have been trained how to look for certain things. They, probably maybe did hair before, but then, they're like, oh, well, I don't, they're not nail techs. So don't think that it's a teacher like me watching you and saying, oh, you missed a step. They don't really know the steps. All they know is they are trained to look for, did you sanitize those hands? Did you touch your face or dig in your nose and sneeze like Deidre is over here, and then you didn't?
So let's say you do.
What do you do?
Put more sanitizer.
Just when in doubt, do it again. You gotta. If you're like, oh my God, did I just scratch my nose? You know what? I don't know. Just do it, because that's all they're looking for. Okay, the table setup. When you get ready to set it up, if you set up your table and you are doing your wiping down of because you got to clean the table off with. We're not going to go that deep today, but you got to clean the table off with wipes. If you forget to put your gloves on, points. So that's based on points, all right? And those things are the things that will get you failed the entire section, okay? They don't care about none of it. At the end of the day, like I said, they don't even know the order. They could.
We do this test and then we go back for the manicure.
What test you talking about?
You said it's
It's 2 parts. The theory's a whole nother day. Don't even think about it. You're going to schedule that on another day, and then this part will be a whole nother day. 2 separate parts. It's not like you're going to be nervous that you got to still go take a test. And at the end of the day, if you do fail that section, you can take that section again and not have to take this section if you passed it. It's 2 parts. You fail one section. That ain't going to happen, so don't even worry about that. We're not doing that, okay? Because I told her to. Just to paint them in. She don't know how to do it yet, and I ain't had, because we didn't do that yesterday in class. So that's why I said, y'all can show her how to do it. Yeah, you can show her how to do it. Thank you. No, I don't need to see it, because I know I saw you do it yesterday. I don't need to see you do it one time. The rest of the times, I know you know how to do it. All right. So, plus you don't even have a tip on there, so it's not going to be the best. But Tasha's going to show you while she's waiting on me, okay? So, that is the State Board manicure. So, I will suggest that you ladies take a picture of the setup. Y'all can come up here and take a quick screen picture here of how it should be set up, okay? And that way, and remember what I told y'all, take a picture, put it in front of your toilet.
Go do yours.
She's like, I ain't gonna stand up there. Okay. So while y'all are taking that picture, everybody is gonna need 2 towels, okay? Everybody needs 2 towels. We'll hand out everything that everybody needs over here. And my little setup over here, somebody can have it if they want to. Whoever wants to grab it first. Okay? Just grab everything that's over here and set your table up. Y'all set your tables up the way I just did it. Okay? If you want to take a picture of the setup, go to the YouTube. It's right there on the screen, right there. That what you see behind. Well, it's gone now because China done took it. But no, you can watch the replay because I'm about to end the live. Okay, bye y'all. Bye.